Yeah, did you go to training camp? Have you been since you've been here? Are you a big football guy at all, or?
Not really, actually. I just what's it called? When I first got out here, that's when they were. This was last year, probably like July time. That's when they were first like starting training camp.
Yeah.
And the only thing I remember was how bad like traffic and parking was, because it was just like everybody wanted to come see him, and I couldn't even get to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So, like that was the only thing I was thinking about. We wouldn't be able to watch him. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't just go to a practice like regularly if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was like, I mean, I did get to see a couple of their cars driving around. That was
Yeah.
kind of cool. But other than
Yeah.
that, and then last year I wasn't here. So yeah, I wasn't involved in it.
Yeah, that's what they told us. They were like, don't show up in the mornings. They were like, work from home in the mornings
Yeah.
because the traffic, it'll take you an hour to get into campus and an hour to get out. So I was like, the extent, because everybody asked, they're like, well, you got to do Chiefs camp. You got to do stuff. I'm like, no. They don't even allow us to go into the indoor facility during Chiefs camp. I don't know if you know that or not, but we're not allowed to step foot in the indoor facility.
So what? You just had to like wait outside until they were ready?
Everybody's office, including all of the admin except Ryan. I think Ryan and Teresa got to stay in there, and Mike got to all three stay in there. Their offices were all these suites. They got booted out to these suites for an entire like month and a half and had to work from here.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's on lockdown.
But I don't know. They moving like the president. Like that's kind of crazy. Like don't look at nobody.
They did. It was, well, because like all the coaches take over those offices too, and their doors are wide open. So I worried about like people filming plays, filming stuff, and like I mean, some guys have injuries that they don't find out until the end of the season, so that they can play the whole year.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's the same in basketball. Obviously nothing. I don't want you to talk about anything with the team with that, but I mean, it's always, you'll hear about guys that'll get injured at the very, very beginning of the year, play the rest of the year, and then it comes out, it's like, oh yeah, he tore his PCL, been playing on it all year, just wanted to play on it and stuff like that.
That happens a lot in
Really?
basketball. Like I played 6 years of college basketball, so I play every year. It's like somebody kind of has an injury that's kind of nagging, and it'll probably over time get worse. Like I had an injury like that. I tore my meniscus my sophomore year, and I tried to play on it for probably like a month maybe, and I could feel it getting worse. Obviously, like I was walking upstairs and I couldn't even extend my knee all the way out, and I was just popping pain pills trying to get through it. So it was like that was probably the worst like playing pain I've ever went through.
Right.
But at the same time, it was like a lot of it is in your mind. If you like once you get that adrenaline going and you playing, it's like I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just trying to play.
Yeah.
And so it was a practice where I could barely move. My coach was like, yeah, just sit out this one and like go talk to Lance. And he was like, yeah, I think we should do an MRI. And from there, they just said, yeah, it's done. Tore my meniscus completely.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's gotta hurt, especially, I couldn't imagine a sport like basketball, because that's what's cushioning your bones coming together right there. I couldn't imagine jumping up and down on that.
Man.
You're bone on bone right there, no padding or anything.
That was crazy though. I feel like I was the most athletic during that time.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. If you ask some of my teammates at that point, like I was doing windmills just off a one like a drop step windmill. I don't know how but like man, it was insane. Like I felt the most athletic, but yeah, I did feel it grinding, especially afterwards, like after we got done working out or practice or whatever. That would be the worst pain because I'm coming down off the painkillers I just took. So walking around campus or VMI, we call it what's it called? It's like a big hill basically. You're just walking upstairs, back downstairs to the gym, and then you go back to barracks. So walking around all that, it was like terrible because you gotta go upstairs and downstairs, and then So when I got the surgery and I had to walk on the crutches and stuff, that was 10 times worse. And so like I don't know, a lot of people kind of go through like injuries throughout the year and they try to hide them, but a lot of times if it's like overly in basketball, especially because you need your arms, you need your legs, you have to. So a lot of times if it's severe, then they'll just sit out, wait until they get like a steroid shot or something, and then keep them going for the rest of the year.
Yeah, give them those shots right in the knee. I mean, I've heard can't remember exactly who it was, but it was some basketball player was talking about it. They were like, I think it was somebody that had retired from college or something like that, and they're like, yeah, tore something up in their knee, and during practice it was fine, but as soon as you got done with practice, you sit down, you just can't move it. Like you can't stand up, your legs locked up and everything. And I mean, I've had knee surgery on both of my knees. I tore both ACLs. This one, my right one was it 4 years ago now, playing football in high school. I tore everything except my PCL. So I tore my ACL, LCL, MCL, and meniscus. And then kind of with that adrenaline, kind of like you talking about, I tore it, and I went down on the field, started screaming. I mean, rightfully so. And then I got up and walked off the field. She looked at my leg afterwards. She was like, I think you just sprained your MCL. So the only reason I found out that I tore anything is they're like, well, have you checked out by a doctor? Went to the physician. He checked out my knee. He's like, yeah, I think it's a sprained MCL. You should be fine in a couple of weeks. And he's like, we're still going to do an MRI just in case. Get the MRI done. I would keep in mind, I'm walking around on it. I don't have a brace. I have like a cheap Walmart sleeve on it. Walking around on it, squatting down. Like I couldn't fully squat on it, but I was like squatting down on stuff. I was like, man, I feel like I could play.
Yeah.
Get the MRI done. Come home a couple weeks later, and my dad's like, yeah, you tore your ACL. And he said it a lot more serious, and I thought he was joking.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you're joking. Like, what was it? He was like, you tore your ACL. I was like, no way. Like, it was that day too. My coaches found out before I did, and they came down to the locker room, and we had gotten done with like team pictures or something. This was my senior year too, team pictures, and come down to the locker room. I'm really close to coaches still, and they look at me and they're like, "Oh, Jason, have you heard anything?" They knew. Yeah. They knew. Oh my God. And I was like, no, I haven't, I was waiting for my mom to call, but I guess I'll find out when I get home. And they told me afterwards, one of them had to turn around and walk out because he was like, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, well, good luck. And they were trying to keep it together, not telling me. And then I find out, and they told me after, they were like, oh, yeah, we thought you already knew.
Yeah.
Because my head coach was the second call after my parents. They called him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then this one was not as cool of a story. I was playing intramural softball last year, and I actually have a video. You can see my ACL tearing in the video. I was mic'd up for it. And I stepped, and you slow it down, and you can see. I'll pull it up. Do you get queasy over stuff like that?
No.
You see, I planted, and my foot just caught in the ground, and you just see a ripple of my tendon across my knee snapping, and I went down. And I gotta show you this video.
Yeah.
That was. So yeah, as soon as it happened, because I had the first, obviously I had that one. As soon as this one happened, I immediately knew what it was. Is meniscus the only thing you've ever had injury wise, or?
Well, yeah, I played through a broken foot last year too. Well, not last year, but my senior year at VMI.
A broke?
Yeah, like on my right foot. So it's hard to explain.
Okay.
I want to see this video first, though.
Yeah, here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, I was mic'd up for it, and
that's crazy.
I was planning on being mic'd up. It was intramural stuff for Greek life, and I was like, oh, I was quarterback for our flag football team. I was I was first baseman in softball. I was like, I'll play volleyball. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna get video content all year. And then that happens, and I was like, oh Lord, oh man, where is this? It's right here. It is. Just watch that knee.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Man, it's crazy how science works too. Cause
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably planted like that many times. Where it was just like,
yeah, and that's what it was weird. And I found out it's because that was my inside foot. I was trying to cut on. Essentially, unintentionally trying to cut on my inside foot instead of my outside because I tried to catch myself and it just gave out. I mean, it's crazy how those things work, and I wasn't as active or athletic at that point. I was like, I'll play sports. I haven't been a full-time athlete in a long time. I'll play, and body gives out whenever you get old enough. So, but a broken foot. How?
Oh yeah. Man, listen. So let me tell you about that. It was my senior year, and it was I was starting, but I don't know how to explain it. My role was to just grab rebounds, like offensive rebounds,
Okay.
play defense, obviously,
Yeah.
and basically score whenever like I was a great shooter, so score whenever the ball found me.
Yeah.
And we had a coaching change. Coach Xavier Silas, he came in and he was like you can play, like you just gotta kind of, like, and he kind of put some more confidence in me. And so 2 days before our conference opener at the time, we had a practice, and my teammate AJ, he stepped on my foot, and it just kind of like he stepped on the front part of it.
Okay.
And so like basically like stretched out
Okay.
when I was trying to like jump. I don't know how to explain it, but he stepped on my foot as I was trying to do like a step through, like jump through or whatever. And afterwards, like you could see the bone kind of just like sticking out. And we had to do a X-ray, and they were like, "Yeah, you got a bone, not a bone fracture. You had a foot fracture." But like, I don't know how to explain it. The way it wasn't like terrible. It was just like a piece of my bone that was just kind of like.
Just like a slight fracture that kind of broke out, like a slight part of it that broke out.
And so all I had to do was kind of pad it. It was painful. It's painful to play through, but you pad it. You take some ibuprofen before the game, and you should be all right.
Yeah.
And so like that was kind of the plan, is like let it regrow by itself. Don't no surgery or nothing like that, and just kind of play. And so for the rest of the year, I played on it like that. And it was crazy because my best game was the very next game, when I couldn't even really move. I was just shooting threes and trying to run. Like, I couldn't cut, so if somebody was to, like, dribble at me, there was no way I was going to be able to
You're like, I'm just playing back. It's like, I'll put a hand in your face if I have to. Or
And my coaches knew that, so they kind of they switched the matchups. Usually I guard the best player, and they like, changed it to where it was, like, I was guarding, I can't remember at the time, Chase Martin. Chase Martin was who I was guarding. He wasn't a scorer. He was kind of like a utility guy. And, I mean, I guess my role was similar to his at the time, but...
Yeah. What school were you playing that game?
We were playing Wofford at the time.
Okay.
So, man, and then after that, I just kind of played well. I was still trying to, like, figure out how to play with my foot, but what I was learning was how to draw fouls.
Okay.
How to, like, play without being athletic, if that makes sense. So using your mind and kind of, like, playing 3 steps ahead. So if I come down and I get somebody on a pump fake and they bite for it, I know next time I'll probably be able to just go straight into the jump shot, or vice versa. If I just shoot it, and so next time I'll give him pump fake.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna bite, and I can step through. So like little stuff like that, where I was just using my mind to kind of take that piece away. Like I don't have to use it as much.
Yeah.
And so
almost whenever it's like they talk about, whenever you lose one sense, kind of your other side.
Yeah.
So something like that. So you were essentially, and I watch basketball. Mm-hmm. I'm not like the most knowledgeable about basketball, but I feel like it's almost one of those. It's like you kind of expect your first couple of shots, even like you said, though, even if you aren't necessarily a scorer like that, it's like your first couple of shots, you kind of anticipate you're not going to have great looks, but you're setting it up so the future ones you have good looks. And get in their mind, essentially, because if you get in their mind, kind of like you said, you're faking on one or you're pulling up on one right there, then the next one they're like, well, is he going
to do that? Yeah. And sometimes, like, I've learned this because I've played a lot of great players. Like, it's deflating when you come down and it feels like there's nothing you could do because they're just that much smarter, that much better.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's me, but I'm just saying I've learned a lot. So if I'm playing a great player, I know that his tendencies a lot of times is what he's going to go to, but he probably watch film. He knows what I like to do on defense, so it's just a lot of, like, intricate, like, detailed stuff that goes into it. And that's something that injury, let alone not playing my first few years as much, that kind of opened my eyes to just, like, okay, it's a lot more than just playing basketball. You know, you got to, like, think the game. And so, man, that was hard. I'm not gonna lie, that was tough. But VMI is tough in general. So by that point, I was already like, I'm about to graduate. I'm gonna just finish the year and figure out my foot from there.
Yeah. So how did you end up at VMI? I'm assuming it is like a military, like an actual military academy, right?
Yeah, so um, you want like when I came from high school or like prep school? Because I did a year at prep school and then, well, I played high school and then I went to prep school and then I
Okay.
went to VMI.
Take me through it from high school up to VMI. How you
Okay,
got to there?
man, that's crazy. So, so high school, I was unrecruited. I was hearing from schools, but not, you know how you hear from schools
Yeah.
from through a high school coach, or you're like, yeah, we had a so and so call about you. Okay, like
Doesn't mean
nobody.
anything. It just means they're
Yeah,
kind of inquiring there. Yeah.
yeah. And so my high school team was really good. Like we basically, as far as the lower part of South Carolina, we were the ones that were, how do I explain it? We were the ones to beat, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
my high school team was really good.
You had a target on your back.
Yeah, until we got to the state championship where we were playing against like upper South Carolina schools, and so that was kind of evened out essentially. And the upper schools always won. Like we went to state championship twice and we lost both times, and so after that year, I didn't have much to go off of. I was still I don't think I was good enough, if that makes sense. So like going to college, it kind of taught me a lot more about like spacing and basketball knowledge, like being able to play defense and not giving,
Yeah, you were almost like I equate it to like with football or like baseball. It's one of those things. It's like when you're at a smaller school in football, the fastest kid is just going to be your best player
Yeah.
because you don't need a lot of technique versus whenever you start playing those better schools, whenever you start playing higher competition from like high school to college, all those guys were their best player at their school too.
Yeah.
So
What's the difference? Like
Yeah.
yeah, man. And so I didn't get recruited straight out of high school. It was kind of crazy because me and my brother were gonna go to a JUCO together. Monroe Community College. I already had an offer.
Okay.
We went out there to like work out and just see the school. When we worked out, they pulled my offer and gave my brother the full that. Yeah. So and then at the end, like they could tell my brother wasn't gonna come unless I came.
Yeah.
They offered me a partial scholarship with no athletic money, and that kind of opened my eyes. I was like, well, I'm just not good enough. Like I just got to keep working. If this is, man, when I came home, my mom was like, you can just keep working at Wendy's until you figure out like what you want to do. And I didn't want to keep working at Wendy's, so I was like, all right, what's the next best thing? I started calling around, and crazy, like it was just crazy how it all worked out. One day after work, Coach Trey Morin from the Phelps School, it's like a prep school in Pennsylvania, he reached out and he was like, hey, like, are you interested in playing for us? And then he gave me a full scholarship. And so, yeah, like, out of nowhere. But it's a prep school, so it wasn't like I could go in there and, I was set to go to college. I still had to work. My SAT score was bad, so I had to work and do a lot of things to kind of eventually lead me up to getting offered by VMI. So when I was there at the time, my SAT score was like it was real low, like an 860 maybe, and I had to put in. So our school had a certain amount of hours, like they did it like within everybody, they just kind of calculated together. They threw it all in one, and then they were like, okay, based on overtime, this is the amount of hours the school has put in. And they did like my teacher was like, yeah, you kind of like carried that basically. So I was putting in the most hours within the school.
Oh, so it was like a cumulative of like, here's the average amount of hours that everybody was putting in to kind of get a baseline, and you were towards the top of that right there.
Yeah, it was just like the SAT prep stuff. Like, so we just sitting in there like learning the techniques of how to take a test. But
we did the same thing for ACT at my school. So yeah,
I had to take the ACT too.
Yeah.
So man, like,
I could have. I didn't even know what the SAT was. I knew of it, but I didn't know what it was because that wasn't a huge thing at our school. It was like you got to take the ACT. That's your thing. Get your ACT scored, and you're good. So.
See, I wish, but that was the thing. My ACT score was bad, so I had to take the SAT to kind of like see if like I can get a better grade maybe, and vouch it off that. I had a decent GPA, but nothing good enough to kind of get me into a decent college. So I knew I was going to have to work on that, obviously work on basketball. So it worked out perfect because the coach, he was like, yeah, we want to do 6 a.m. workouts. We want to do 3-a-days, 2-a-days, whatever it was. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to get better.
And you're getting the money to go. Like, you're getting the full ride, so that takes away the work that you, like, working a job and stuff like that. It takes that away because then there's more hours for both of those.
Exactly. So I was kind of like, I mean, obviously, it was like I was in college without being in college, if that makes sense. Like, I was taking classes. I had a time within the little class period where I could go take a nap. Yeah. And I had a meditation class and stuff. So most of the time in the meditation class, she would just let us sleep. She'd be like, if you need to sleep, I don't care. Just close your eyes. But she would turn the lights off and stuff. So she'd be like, if you want to listen, you can listen. Sometimes I'll listen. Sometimes I would sleep. Yeah. But
do you still meditate, or is that something
all
you
the time?
took?
Yeah. And so, like, I don't know. Everything that kind of I've been through, it gave me little keys to be better. Yeah. If that makes sense. And not everything is perfect. You know, nobody's perfect. But, I mean, I took a lot of those, like VMI, just making your bed every day. I still make my bed every day. And it's just like little discipline stuff because that's like the first win of the day. You get out of bed, you make your bed. That's a win, you know? So, but when I was at Phelps, it was crazy, like the trend, like, my bad.
No, you're good.
Yeah. It was crazy, like, how I went from high school to where I wasn't getting recruited at all. Yeah. And then I went to the Phelps school, and I played with the AAU team called Rhode Island Elite. And within, like, 2-3 months, I was hearing from mid-major schools, and it was, like, actual interest, too. So I didn't have to really stress about, oh, man, like, going into Phelps, and I might not have an offer. I didn't have an offer going into Phelps, but I knew VMI was heavy. I knew Bryant at the time was heavy. And so it made it that much easier because I can go to my, like, last year of high school, whatever, kind of essentially, like, without worrying about, all right, I'm not going to hear from these schools. I got the eyes on me. The Phelps school was pretty good, too. Like, they played in a lot of tough not games, but, like, tough teams, tough conferences. They weren't at the time, I don't know if they are now, but they weren't in a, like, set league. But it was just, like, a bunch of rival schools we would always play. Perkiomen was always good. West Town, we played Derek Lively. Like, a bunch of big-time players. Yeah. And I would always, like, play well. And so that's what kind of set VMI offering me. Yeah. They offered me probably 2 games into the season maybe, and it took a lot of time. Like, they kept sending coaches to my AU games, and then finally sent an assistant coach to our practice. And then Coach Earl came later on, and after that, like, maybe my second game, he called and was like, yeah, we're going to give you a full ride. And I started crying because that's obviously the biggest goal. Like, my freshman year, I remember being in the gym, and there were kids like, nobody from this school ever went D1. Like, you're not going to be able to do that. And I was like, watch. Like, you know, and nobody standing behind you. It's just like, you got to say that and really believe it. Yeah. And so when I got that offer, it felt good. And that's kind of what led me to VMI.
Yeah. Were you set on VMI from the get-go then? I assume they were your first offer then out of there. Mm-hmm. So were you pretty set on them then?
I was, actually, but I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to do the military stuff. Yeah. Nobody does.
That's what I wanted to ask you because I didn't know there's some people that do it just to go to school, get that paid for and stuff. I didn't know if you actually wanted to go into the military.
No.
Because it's that joke on people talk about it's like the college football game. Keep going back to football, but it's like college football. It's like, oh, my road to glory. I got an offer from the Army, so I'm going to choose the Army. Yep. It's like the next cutscene's Call of Duty. Yeah. You're out there.
I mean, because you got to so at VMI, you didn't have to serve, but Army, Navy, I think West Point, you got to go in and serve at least 2 years after.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be an officer. I think it's because I've got there's a kid I went to school with who actually he's starting center at Air Force right now. He's starting on the basketball team.
Yeah.
And that's what he's going into serve after. And he wanted to because his dad did and all that stuff. But and it's like got another friend who went to Navy or something like that. Wasn't an athlete, but it's still like you have to do a sport of some sort when you're there. You have to join a team, which is crazy. And they have their traveling, like their actual basketball team, but then they have like their practice squad who plays other schools and stuff, and that's considered a team. And then they have like your JV, and I think that's insane whenever you look at that.
It's crazy, man, because like I played Air Force, so I was thinking about it. Like the kid, how long was he there?
He's in his senior year now, so he's been there the past 4 years. His name's
played against him.
Caleb Walker. I can show you a picture at some point. I don't know if he played at all his freshman year, but we played middle school together, and then he moved high schools. This kid was 6'2" in 8th grade, something like that. I think he's 6'8" now, 6'9", something like that. And it's like, good Lord, I was maybe this height in middle school. I'm 5'11" on a good day, and I'm sitting there. It's like, man, you go. I was put in there to foul people. I was put in there to foul people and get rebounds. That was my whole role in basketball.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
help them win.
Yeah, so you were talking about with VMI, you said so you didn't have to serve after, but did you still have to go through basics and do all that training and stuff?
Yeah, so I think every school has their own kind of unique name for it or whatever, but we went through what is called Hell Week.
Yeah.
Man. And so as far as like Hell Week, so you get it's like an invitation to VMI, but not an invitation, like initiation, basically.
Gotcha.
You got to go through this week, and if you make it through this week, you're now a rat, which is like you go through 6 months, I believe, of being a rat, which is like you just got to do the seniors. You got to go in there and like
grunt work and stuff like that.
Yeah, basically. I don't know why it's so hard to explain, but man, that school basically like it's like you got to work to be an actual student there.
Yeah.
And freshman year, that's always the hardest because like a bunch of people drop out.
Yeah.
And even though you don't have to serve after, most people who don't do sports or whatever, they're there for that. So everybody's in the ROTC program. Everybody is kind of so you'll meet people within your class and stuff that's not an athlete that they want to actually be an Army Ranger or stuff like, and you go to schools like this to do that. And that was kind of the biggest culture shock for me because it was like, man, like some of these kids are just crazy, and then they probably thought I was crazy because, and so like
military's their whole life, and then it's like I wanted to go to this school so I could be an officer. I have this plan, and you're like, I just want to play basketball, man.
Yeah, and so I'm walking and that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you they call them second classmen. You're a second classman, you see a freshman a freshman is a rat. You see a rat walking around, and he's a basketball player. He probably doesn't really care about the military stuff. So he walking around probably disrespecting his uniform. And the second classman, straighten up. Like, what are you doing? You're at VMI. You need to act right. And so that always kind of created a little clash between athletes and regular students there. But it was never, like, too big of a deal because everybody at VMI is always kind of like, it's VMI versus everybody. When you're there, you become family. I'm gonna be honest. Like I can go knock on the door right next to me. I don't even know them. I'll walk in. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, y'all got any snacks? Like, I'm hungry, man. Yeah. Let me look at my And so that's just kind of like the community VMI has, and I'm sure all academies
like military academies and stuff. Yeah,
they all because the Citadel is one. That was our rival.
I think I've heard of the Citadel before. I had heard of VMI. I'd seen the logo. I didn't know a ton about them, but I knew VMI. I knew the logo, and I've heard of the Citadel too. So,
and so it's crazy because like my friend, you said they got like Navy has different teams.
Yeah,
my friend was on one of the JV teams at first, and then he worked his way up to the actual team. Yeah, and I remember in the summer before he even went there, he was like, man, I'm trying to go in there and play. I'm trying to go in there and like contribute right away. And he ended up being on the JV team. And so I was like, okay, from that point, I understood college a little more. Like, it's a bigger game. You got to kind of work your way up. You gotta know how to play basketball. And sometimes it's about who you know. And as far as getting recruited, being able to kind of get your name out there or whatever it was, I didn't know none of that. Like, I was coming from high school, and my high school was very small, and everybody there kind of praises you, but nobody's kind of like, nobody has the tools to kind of help you get to the next level or the level after that, and so that was like a big challenge for me whenever I was going to VMI. And then I would say after I learned a little bit more about how basketball works, about how life works in general, that kind of helped me. And I'm still learning. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but it helped me. It gave me kind of the insight to get to the right path.
Yeah,
So.
I somewhat understood. I wasn't a college athlete, so I don't understand it from that side, but it's kind of always talked about. I came from a smaller school.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate. Baseball was my sport. So, I was fortunate. I was on varsity. I was a starter from my freshman year to my senior year. And I think that's one of the weird things that a lot of smaller school kids that go to college and play, you go from you're the star athlete of the town, you've started every year, everybody thinks you're that guy, and then you get to college and it's like, oh, it's normal not to start until your senior year for most people, and it's normal not to get that. So that was something whenever I was looking at going to play, trying to get recruited for baseball and stuff, I was like, man, that'd have been weird, going from being that guy every single year to I don't even know if I'm gonna get to play by my senior year. It would have.
I tell you what, man, that's as far as a man, because when you think about, oh yeah, man, I can do this, I can do that, and then there's a point in time where it's out of your control. You feel like you just there. You can't help. You can't harm. As a man, sometimes I was battling man, am I even worth playing this sport? And so I'll be just trying to keep my head up, and that's probably when I was my freshman year, especially when I tore my meniscus and I was sitting on the bench. I couldn't play.
Yeah.
And I was just I would hear some of the stuff that the crowd say, water boy, and it got bad because it's a D1, they look up the roster, they know you play. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they actually call you a water boy.
Yeah.
And that's a humbling feeling. Like you say, you come from a bigger or a smaller town and you're the man, until just you thrown into the fire and nobody really knows your name. You got to fend for yourself, and over time you get better. But man, that's what I'm saying. Whenever you just kind of you don't know that and you go into it, it's hard to adapt to. And so a lot of players, that's why transferring is a big thing. That's why the biggest thing is transferring. That's why it's nobody, and obviously money now, but nobody really, oh, well, I ain't playing 30 minutes. I don't want to be here. It's a coach out there that'll value me more,
Yeah.
And so instead of appreciating your situation and trying to make your situation the best possible situation it can be.
Yeah. Now, from an athlete's point of view, and obviously there's different stories and coming from different levels of sports, but I've always been interested in what the mindset is behind transferring. Especially, you transferred, you came to a different school after that, but I talked to one of my buddies on an episode who's a football player up at Northwest, and I asked him about it. I asked him about NIL transferring and kind of what the mindset is there, but he had never transferred. He looked at it, and then coming from your point of view, what is that about sports now? What do you think that mindset behind a lot of those guys and out of nowhere transfers? I think what I look at, because it used to be a rare thing for people to transfer. It used to be they need to be closer to family because of an emergency. They need to, academics aren't good. They just decided they're I want to do this major. This school doesn't have it. But now, like you said, it's money, and it's just kind of, I'm not getting 30 minutes. I want to go somewhere else.
So I think the biggest thing, especially at the D2 level, is value. If you don't feel like So especially somebody who's probably not like a freshman that doesn't play, they're gonna feel, oh well, what's my value? If a coach isn't like talking to him every day and like trying to help him, obviously like, oh, what's my value? I probably could go play somewhere else, probably a lower D2 school or D3 school, but they'll appreciate me more and I'll play.
Yeah.
As far as the D1, and it's crazy because my friends, man, like I got so many basketball friends that have transferred, and like I don't want to put nobody's business out there, but sometimes like the conversation, yeah, well, this school isn't offering me 200,000 like this school,
Yeah.
and I would think about it, I'm like, well, you getting a free education, you probably, and obviously the extra NIL stuff that comes along with it, so you're gonna get paid regardless.
The facilities, nutrition at a lot of those schools, you're getting all your
Man.
food paid for the most part. It's like,
What more could you ask for? And obviously, I'm not in a position to say like, oh well, I've gotten an offer for 200,000, 300,000, but I don't know. At some point, especially in college, it kind of makes me think like, what's enough, Because I think that's the biggest thing. People just they see the money, they see like, oh yeah, like this could be better, and a lot of glitz and glamour a lot of times, but that's usually the high prospects. So when I was coming out of like VMI and I was trying to get recruited by these other D1 schools, it was harder to put my name up against some of these players because obviously like we didn't win games. VMI is not like a school you would go to if you're a 4-star, you're 5-star, obviously. So a lot of times your name gets pushed down to the list. And now it's like a dog-eat-dog world where you're just trying to get in where you fit in if you're trying to play at the D1 level. So everybody's going to have their stars. If you're a star, you're going to know you're a star because a bunch of schools are going to be reaching out.
yeah.
And then you'll be able to kind of, well, this school said they're going to offer me 50,000. This school said they're going to offer me 100,000. This school's location is better. This school, it's in a dump. And so
You can
like
be more picky with what you want at that point.
and for a lot of players, getting an offer is the biggest thing. It's because, like, you got to fill your roster. You're not really thinking about, okay, who's my star players? You probably already got those. You're looking at who can be a contributing piece to my star players, if that makes sense. And
who can fill the roles that
Yeah,
need filled? Who can be the rebounder? Who can eat minutes? Who
Yep.
can take fouls? Who can do that kind of stuff?
And a lot of the times it's like who can win too. So coaches are looking for that. But as far as like a player standpoint, if you haven't won, if you haven't, if you're not a big name, you're already behind a bunch of people. And so that dog eat dog world, like you kind of fighting for a position here. If you played at D1, mid-major D1, now you dropping down to probably low major D1 to D2, maybe even D3.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of good players. A lot of D3 players could be D1 players
Yeah.
within the next year. And so each level is kind of different, but that's kind of how it is. Like D2, it's value. Like, okay, I want to play somewhere so I could eventually go up if I want to.
Yeah.
Or I want to just enjoy it, actually play, hopefully go overseas. If not, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's really about the level.
Yeah, Trevor Hudgens said some during March Madness this past year whenever they were talking about like that Drake team and all that stuff with a bunch of Division II players, and even you just see guys coming up from Division II, Division III to some of those big schools. They end up contributing at football. They contribute basketball and anything, and basketball specifically. He just said he was like, the main difference that you'll see between players is maybe in height. He just said he's like, if you stick 5 Division III, 5 Division II, and 5 Division I guards in a room together, had them work out together, had them run drills and all that stuff.
Be able to tell which one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean to your point, from an outsider's perspective, it's a lot about name. It's about the resources in high school to get your name out there, because we had kids in high school and football that were 5-star recruits that we played against, and I'm like, you're the worst 5-star recruit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna throw shade. I'm not gonna name names, but there was there was one Division I lineman that we played, and he was a tackle. And there was one 5-star defensive end that we played, and my buddy Sam, he went and played college football. This kid, loved this dude to death. And I hate saying this because he's heard it his whole life. If he would have been even 5'11", 6 foot, could have gone mid-major D1 to play football. He's 5'8", 5'9" on a good day. But he played against these Division I's. He played against these like 5-star recruits. This dude's 5'8", 5'9", shorter than me, like big, strong dude. He come off sideline. He's like, if this is what 5-star is, it's like I don't know what we're doing here. And like if this is what this dude's getting to get offers, he's like, I guess anybody's getting offers, but it's like kind of like you said, it's the name, what resources? Because my school didn't have the resources. My school had never sent somebody to a Division I college.
Exactly.
I think they did for one sport. One of our female basketball players went to Drake. She actually was one of their star players. They went to March Madness, their women's team, like 3 or 4 years whenever she was there and a starter. It's like that's the only Division I athlete we really ever had at my school, and it's like you don't have those resources. You don't know the people to reach out to, and I feel like it does hold some of those guys back. But
100%. I
don't know if you would agree to this. I feel like it also separates the guys who really want it versus the guys who are like, well, I want to go Division I. And it's like, do you know what that actually means?
Yeah.
Versus the guys that are like, I want to go play college. I don't care what I have to do to get an offer. I'll grind out. I'll do whatever. And it kind of separates those guys as well.
Yeah, man, a lot of times when I would be in practice in high school, I'd be like, man, like, I would walk around my high school, look at all the schools. It's like a bunch of D1 banners just hanging up in my school. And I'm thinking, like, how many of our kids have actually gone to these schools? Like UAB, like we in South Carolina, small town in South Carolina. How many of these kids, you know? And so I would walk around and be like, what are the odds that I'm able to actually do that? And obviously it would kind of crush me sometimes because I'm thinking about, like, well, I don't have the resources. I don't, I come from a small school. Even though we're 15-2, or we were actually, my junior year, we were like 16-0, 18-0 until we played our rival and we lost by like 3 points. And so we were 18-1 going to the state championship or state playoffs. And from there, we obviously go to the state championship. Yeah. Even then, no offers, no interest, no nothing. And so,
didn't you have some accolades too? Were you all state whenever you were in college and stuff like that, or whenever you were in high school?
Yeah. When I was in high school, I was all state. I think that's it. I was never like the best player on my team, which is kind of like, it puts me in a perspective to where it's like I just kind of want to win. I want to be a piece of a part of a winning team, contributing to a winning team, helping, and regardless of how that looks for me, I'm gonna play my role to the best of my ability. And so I don't know. I've never really been the best player besides probably the Phelps year where I had to kind of score more and take on a bigger responsibility basketball-wise. But even then, I wasn't. We had a 6'10" center that was getting looked at by Penn State, and so I think that does kind of play a part into it. You're like, man, like this. It's like Kobe said, it's hella hot water. Like, I'm going to do this. And you just betting on yourself. A lot of times, there's a lot of nights where you're just like, man, you probably cry to yourself, like, man, this is really going to work, and if you really do it, if you wake up and so you have a day where it's like, man, I'm hurting right now. I don't know what's going on mentally. I just feel like I'm not there. The quicker you can turn the page and say, man, I'm going to do it, like the next day or the next day. I'm going to just keep going back and forth. And that usually helps you, but you never know. Like, you just never know. But that gives you the best chance. So, it's like, it's humbling in a way, but once you get that offer, it kind of shows the work that you put in. But, I'm telling you, if you're not a 5-star, like, you just got to work hard. That's the biggest thing. You gotta be willing to do whatever.
Yeah. You mentioned Kobe right there. Do you read at all? Do you read?
Yeah.
What? I have a feeling you may have read this book, and I'm trying to think of the name.
Mamba Mentality.
It's not Mamba mentality. I'll have to look. I listen to a lot of books. I listen to audiobooks. And it's the one. It was Jordan, Kobe, and D Wade's like
Tim Grover.
Tim Grover. Yes.
Relentless.
Yeah. I knew as soon as you said that, I was like, this dude's definitely read that book.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, like I remember listening to that book, and I think I've listened to it twice, something like that. That's one I need to redo it now.
Yeah.
It's great hearing that mindset that really truly set those guys apart there. And I'll never forget the point he was talking whenever Kobe tore his Achilles. Whenever he was talking to him, he's like, "Okay, you got two options right here. Either A, we can do the surgery the normal way. You won't be able to play all next year, but you'll be able to walk whenever you're 70 years old." And he's like, "Or I can get you back to playing this off season and get you back to practice, but you're not going to be able to walk when you're 70." And without hesitation, he just goes, "Get me back."
Yeah,
He's like, "I want to play. Get me back." And that mentality right there, that mindset with athletes, it's like, it's crazy to hear that's just like, no questions asked. And you see that with like David Goggins is one talked about too. Like, I'm sure you've read Can't Hurt Me and stuff. Like, that's another one to where it's like, have you read his second book that's like Can't Stop or something like that? So he came out with a second book that's just like his adventures in paratroop firefighting and stuff like that, where he like a paratrooper that fights fires and stuff. And he talked about he had to have, so he has like bad knees. He talks about that, and had to get knee surgery finally. And it's so funny. They talked about they had to cut his meniscus open to get to everything. And your meniscus, I mean, you tore yours. It's super easy to cut. And they always describe it as he talked in the book. He's like, doctors always describe it. It's like slicing a hot knife through butter. Like, it's just like that.
Yeah.
And he said they went to cut his, and it broke the scalpel because he had ran so many miles on it that it calloused. And it just started hardening, just all that pressure with his knees and bad knees hitting against his meniscus.
What?
Calloused his meniscus. He had no cushioning, essentially, like between his bones and stuff. And it's like that.
So what did they cut?
They had to get like a Dremel out and like cut it with that, and it's.
Oh my gosh! I was just trying to like envision it.
Yeah, that's like to that point. It's talking about like those hours working through things, that mindset. Because I couldn't imagine from Kobe's point of view, like tearing your Achilles like that, not only going out on the floor shooting the free throws still,
and walking off,
and then having the ability to just say, you know what, it's now or never. Get me back on the floor. I don't care what I got to do. I don't care if I can walk. And that's just crazy. And that dude was going to walk. I mean, obviously, like even if he said he wasn't going to walk when he was 70, that dude was going to be playing basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever he was older, if like obviously passed away. But I mean, it's crazy what sets those people apart. And that kind of mindset there.
I would say more so it's like what have you been through, the adversities of life, and like a lot of those guys. So like Michael Jordan, they always talk about being cut and stuff like that, but you don't really see their adversity until they get to the NBA and they're playing against like these. It's like, oh, how do they beat them? And then they find a way to beat them.
Yeah.
And then you kind of be like, all right, well, that was adversity in itself. Life is so much bigger than basketball, and so. What I'm scared of, and so I'm thinking as an athlete, when I'm walking, and so say I was playing against you, what scares me is somebody who I know has been through life struggles, just like had nothing, and this is how they survive. Like, this is my passion. You can't take my passion away from me. Everything else has kind of like led me to having this one thing as just like the outlet, the thing that I take and I put all my passion into. And there's nothing that can stop me from being passionate about this one thing. That's I'm scared of that person. And like, you can always kind of tell the people that have that drive, that have that passion, because they're going to perform, or they're going to make sure like they're doing their job the right way, and they're coming every day in the right mindset. And or even just like if I'm playing against somebody and I give them a bump, give me a bump back. And, it's just, like, kind of battles to where it's, like, he's trying to find his way to win, too, and just, like, constantly grinding to figure out how to play against me or how to play against somebody else and beat them, and I don't know, that type of mindset you can always, in my opinion, I talk to a lot of people, you can always relate it back to, like, what adversity had they gone through, that kind of leads them to this point to where it's like, this is just basketball. You can't stop me. Like, and now, like, I'm just playing basketball regardless of that's how I think about it.
Yeah, it's almost like, I guess you could dial it down to, it's the person that's been through everything and has nothing. Like, it's like this is their thing. They have nothing to lose right here.
Nothing to lose. It's like a stray dog. You see a stray dog walking, and obviously it's probably hungry, so it's either going to try to eat you or I don't know. That's kind of what I think about. Like, especially when I'm playing, like I'm a stray dog. Like, I'm just trying to play. Obviously, I have a lot of blessings. I'm not downplaying the blessings that I have, but man, when I was younger, that was kind of my mindset. Basketball is my passion. You can't take my passion away from me.
Yeah.
And now it's gotten to a point to where it's like I can appreciate life through basketball, like all the obstacles, the just like the mistakes that I've made, even through basketball. I appreciate my life on the back end.
Yeah.
Like, man, so it's just like that's just the mindset. Like, a lot of people kind of, everybody's different. You can talk to somebody else. They're probably the most mellow person. They come in, man, I just wake up, I lace my shoes up, and I get to playing. But for some people, it's like, and maybe they're good too. I'm not saying everybody's different, but for some people, it's like, my mindset is this because I went through this in life, or I went through this in basketball constantly, and I had to find my way out of that. So that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah. Did you always have that passion for basketball, or is that kind of something you found?
I always had it. Like, when my brother played whenever I was younger, so I kind of looked up to him. My dad played a lot whenever he and it's kind of crazy. He wasn't around kind of later towards my life, but in the beginning part, he always would, have a basketball, or we would always be just clashing basketball. And that's where kind of that passion came from. And obviously, my older brother, I didn't want to lose to him, so I'm trying my best, whatever I got to do, because he's only a few years older, so he's not like big bro. Like, that's what I was thinking. He is big bro. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna just try to find my way to beat him. And I kid you not, my older brother is the best player I've ever played with. He's 6'4", he's a point guard, but he's big and he can shoot. He can do whatever. Like, so coming up, I was trying to find ways to beat him. He's left-handed. I had to guard it. It was so, man, like, so he gave me the most problems whenever I was younger, trying to, like, figure out, okay, am I even a winner? Like, he just keeps beating me.
Yeah.
What am I going to do now? Like, try to figure out how to win. And so I tell you what, when we got back from college one year, and we were just battling, like, he's beating me, I'm beating him, but it would get very intense, like almost fighting, and sometimes we would fight, but we're brothers, so we not, I could kind of see, like, all the work over the years, just trying to, I'm a winner, just trying to, like, figure out how to win. I could see the work and how much things have changed just by, okay, what do I need to do? What is he not doing? I see my brother. What is he not doing? What do I need to do to be better than him? Okay, he ain't stretching. I'm going to stretch. He ain't meditating. I'm going to meditate. And so, like, trying to find advantages that worked in my favor whenever we did play, it kind of helped me have that mindset whenever I went to college and try to beat out other players for positions or whatever it was, so.
Yeah. You hear a lot of athletes talk about having siblings helps them a lot in that. Mm-hmm. Do you watch UFC at all? Or do you watch?
I don't, actually.
Do you know who John Jones is?
Yes.
So John Jones talking about, like, his brother Chandler, who's in the NFL, was one of the craziest players on defense. And he's got another brother, and he always said, it's like, John Jones is the baddest dude on earth. Like, in my opinion, baddest dude on earth. And he's like, yeah, my brothers are better than me. I'm like,
yeah.
What are you talking about? But I'm pretty sure he's the youngest out of the three. Mm-hmm. And it's like, seeing how having brothers, he talks about, he's like, they made me who I was. They made me who I am. And I'm like, hear a lot of athletes talk about that having those siblings to push them, playing the same thing helps out a lot right there.
Man, like, obviously my mom kind of being the lady she was, so when we would come home, regardless who won, we still it's all love, you know.
Yeah.
Being the lady she was, it mediated everything. But a lot of the time in our when we were in high school and stuff, it was just more, I'm better than you. I'm going to try to show you I'm better than you every day.
Yeah.
Whatever. When I wake up, put my shirt on, I'm going to show you I'm better than you. And it was never like a actual, like, clash. It was just we were trying to. So when we got beat, my sophomore year of high school, we were both starting at the time. It was a crazy game.
So you got to play with him in high school. You got to play on the same team.
Yeah, and so that's where that kind of like competitive edge came from, because I didn't want, and I could tell he was like this. He was just so much better than me, and I obviously wanted to be one of the better players too. So I didn't want to get left behind. I was trying to like just figure out how to be as good as him, and so that's what I was saying. Like, sophomore year, I was seeing wake up and not do this. Oh, I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna make sure I'm like, on top of my routines today. If he's slipping up, it gives me a reminder. I gotta stretch. I gotta do this.
Yeah.
And so it got to our sophomore year. Last game, it was third round in the playoffs. Brooklyn Casey. They were really good. I'm not gonna lie. And one play, this kid, we had scored a go-ahead bucket, so 60-59, I think. He takes it out. I'm guarding him not from inbound, so he takes it out, and I meet him at half court. And so now I try to turn him a little bit. My brother's right behind him. He shoots it. And, like, we both watch the ball, like, just cash.
Yeah.
And everybody just, like, sit there and kind of look at, us. It was – we went home that same day, and we just talked about, like, what we had to do to take our team to the state championship.
Wow.
And, so, like, it was like probably an immediate switch. Like, I went from being like, oh, I want to be better than him eventually, to how can I help? Like, how can we just – and, man, we did a lot of good things, but that was kind of like a point where I seen how much my brother taught me over the years, and then just kind of not using him, but just being like one, if that makes sense. So I was a shooter. He passed me the ball. He was a point guard, and then I would score a lot of points off just him setting me up.
So he was more of a traditional point guard. He was more of your assist guy, taking down the court, about the ball.
Man, he did whatever we needed. Like, there would be nights where he drops 37, 11 rebounds, and like 8 assists.
Yeah.
And like his assists were so forced, like he had to get to the rim to drop it off to our big, to where it's like a wide open layup. So he did a lot for our team, and he was more than just. He was. I would say he was a traditional, like Rondo, like prime Rondo.
Okay.
But he shot the ball. He was good at drawing fouls. So like a lot of the stuff that that I learned over the years, I kind of saw like, man, like he was already doing that. Like he was way ahead of it. That's why I say he's one of the best players I've ever played with.
Yeah.
Because even in high school, he was just so good at kind of IQ plays and being smart. Obviously, he was a lot better than, he's just athletically better than a bunch of the players that we played, but it just made him that much better. And I didn't realize how he did it until, I got probably my senior year when I was watching film. I was just seeing his highlights come up one day. I'm like, man, foul. Oh, he's foul baiting already right there. Like, so I don't know. He taught me a lot. Even my younger brother, like just playing with him, kind of seeing how we would just, try to get him to being not a man, but kind of like, oh, it's time to play. You want to play with the big boys now. Okay, well, come on, let's play with the big boys. And even then, seeing his, like, not innocence. Yeah, innocence. He's just so pure. So, like, he don't know no better, so he's just going to do whatever he wants. And trying to help him get on that, it helped me in a way. So, I can see the value of a sibling for sure.
Yeah. Do you want a water?
Yeah, I'll take one.
I realized I was drinking water over here and didn't ever offer you one.
Nah, that's all right. Yeah, but, like, tell me where you I know you come from Maryville, right? Like
I went to school. I went to school at Northwest in
Northwest.
Maryville. I'm originally from the Lake of the Ozark area,
That's
so
tough.
yeah. I always tell people the town's Eldon. It's a part of the Lake of the Ozarks. Like the outskirts are right off of it. I always tell people if you put a pin in the dead center of Missouri, if you use the Griffin right here as Missouri, boom, right there. That's pretty much where I grew up and stuff. And yeah, I liked it. It was fun. Everybody always asks, they're like, "Oh, you grew up on the lake? That's
Yeah,
that's
how
got to
often
be a
did you
good
visit?
time."
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Growing up like that, you don't go on the lake a ton because you avoid the tourists, you avoid all those people. Have you
Yeah.
ever been down there?
Yes.
So, sure you've noticed there's a lot of massive boats out on that lake. It's one of the only recreational lakes that doesn't have a limit on how big the boat is that you can put on the lake. There's boats that should be on an ocean that you get the people that own the multi-million-dollar houses down there that'll throw out their multi-million-dollar boat on the lake, and it's like they create waves. You can't ever
Yeah.
get out there, but no, it's fun. We had some good competition. Like I said, I played here. I'll show you. His name's Caleb Walker. I think he may have played on like their B squad his freshman year, but he would have been there whenever you were at VMI. See if I can find any game pictures of him. This is him. Yeah, I think he's like 6'9", something like that, 6'8".
Yeah, he looks familiar.
He's huge. No, it was good competition with sports. I think we were better in that area. Baseball, a lot of baseball players, and I mean that's what I grew up playing was baseball. So we had my coach of my travel team and like my little league team growing up. I played with two of his three sons. His youngest son was too young to play with us, but his two older boys played up a year with us. One of them just transferred to Mizzou. I'm pretty sure he was a freshman All-American his freshman year at Wichita State. The middle kid is their best one. He just got done with Tommy John. He's TCU, playing baseball at TCU. And then the youngest is at Wichita. The mom had her jersey. She was a basketball player, I think, at William Jewell or William Woods. Had her jersey hung in the rafters. Like the dad, Bryce, played college baseball. He had some sort of like genetic issue with his knees, from what I heard, or some sort of medical issue. So he never got to go pro, but he was in talks with clubs to get drafted. Probably the most athletic family, and they are some of the best people you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah.
Like the Durnan family. Shout out to the Durnan family. They awesome.
Give them their flowers, man. Give them their flowers.
He taught me, Bryce, that coach. He taught me so much. He gave me the mentality of you may not have matching jerseys, you may not have matching like cleats, you may not have your like all this nice stuff that these other teams have. And he was the first one. I thought, if it tells you anything, I thought the quote, "hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard," was his. I thought he came up with that because he pushed it so much on us that he's like, work your butts off. Like, you will get there if you work your butts off. And like, I carried that throughout my playing career. And with my knee, that's one thing. I credit my doctor and my physical therapist quite a bit. They're both fantastic. But like, whenever I blew out my knee, the first one, as a baseball player, blew it out my senior year of football, I didn't know if I was going to get to play baseball because it was a complete tear. I tore a bunch of stuff. So I later found out it was supposed to be a 12-month recovery, like 10 to 12 months. My mom and the doctor, to motivate me, told me, it'll be like 6 to 9 months, 6 to 9 month recovery. And I pushed her. I wanted to play baseball. Like, I knew any hopes of playing college baseball were kind of kaput from there because similar to kind of like what you were saying, I had coaches call. They were like, hey, we're interested in this kid. Nothing huge. It was like small NAIA schools, but they were like, hey, we're interested. You should come out for a workout, come tour the campus.
Yeah.
And then they found out I tore my knee, and it was like nothing.
Yeah.
Went to no dial tone. And but I got back, and like I pushed myself because I was like, I want to play baseball. Like, I played football for strength and to play with my friends. And then playing baseball, I got back 5 months to the day. I was back on the field playing, and that is still, and I talk about it a lot, and I feel full of myself talking about it that much.
That's crazy.
It's like, that is still one of the proudest things I've ever done in my life because, yeah, they told me after, like, oh, yeah, that was supposed to be 10 to 12. We just didn't want to scare you out of that you wouldn't be able to play baseball and stuff. And, like, I was cleared to practice on the first day of practice, and then my surgeon cleared me 2 days before my first game to fully play in games. And, like, I credit, like, my coaches were awesome. I got out of a little bit of conditioning my senior year. Yeah. Our head coach, Chad Hines, love that dude. He hardhead. He was a police officer. He was a police officer in St. Louis for the longest time. I think I think it was towards the inner city, St. Louis, for the longest time.
I couldn't imagine.
That's right. He grew up in Illinois, just south of St. Louis, and that's where he was a police. I know he's a police officer in St. Louis. I don't know exactly where, but then he moved to Eldon and everything, and hardhead. Like he was a hard ass, for lack of a better term, and he was like, it was cold out. The beginning of baseball season's colder than football season. And anytime we had to like go out and run in the cold, he was like, Jason, he's like, don't mess up your knee. Don't do this. So it was clutch. I hated staying. I was one of those guys I wanted to be out there because I felt like I was one of the leaders on my team for sophomore to senior year. But it's like, I got out of it a little bit. I got out a little bit doing that, but that. Oh man, that was a time because that's also how I got into filming. That's how I got into like media because I had to stand on the sideline for football.
Yeah, so you were
Yeah, I decided to bring my camera. I was like, I'll just bring my camera, start making videos of my high school football team, and that's how I got into that. That's how I ended up doing this stuff. So
that's tough.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, yeah, I still carry that athlete mentality and everything. You know what I miss? And I hope you never have to experience this, Dev. I hope you never have to experience this. I feel like I have lost my competitiveness as I've gotten out of sports, not because I'm not still competitive, but I have no way to like give that an outlet, right? Because I've had people that are like, oh, video games are like in media. There's awards you can submit stuff, and they're like, video games doing this. It's like, I miss the looking you dead in the eye and saying, I am better than you.
Yeah,
I will beat you in whatever we're doing. I miss it so much. And that's the one thing I miss about sports so much. I hope you never have to experience that. But everybody does. Yeah. Everybody at some point in your life. Mariano Rivera is the one who talked about it. He's like, at some point we all have to stop playing a kid's game. This was my time. Some people it's in high school. Some people it's when you're 45 years old. But everybody has to stop playing a kid's game at some point. And it's
more real at that point. But if I'm being honest with you, I already kind of thought about that. Like, when I was a senior at VMI, I was trying to like go to the league, and I didn't come from nothing. So my freshman year, I was saying I was gonna go D1. Everybody was like, "Yeah, you're not going D1," and I did it. So in my mind, I was like, as long as I work hard and just keep God first, everything will fall in line.
Yeah.
Obviously, I made some mistakes along the way, and you can kind of just. Man, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's.
You think about it. You think about losing that. Like, it's not that I'm not competitive because whenever I'll play, like, pick up basketball or, like, I'll go do, like, intramural softball or something like that. I'll still. I was a guy. One of my favorite stories is do you watch baseball at all, or do you know who like Trevor Bauer is?
No, actually I don't.
So Trevor Bauer became famous for different reasons, but he threw the ball. He got pulled off the mound during a game, and at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, he's the one that threw the ball over the outfield fence from the pitcher's mound because he got so angry he was getting pulled out of the game. But he was notorious. He'd do the millionaire walk off the mound. He would give somebody the sword, and I'd do that.
But yeah, it's passion.
And that's like it was a 14 pitch at bat. It was a 3-2. I threw a curveball to this kid, buckled him, strike 3, looked him dead in the eye and went. Gave him the sword on the mound, and I look over at my coach, who, like I said, hard ass. Stu looks at me and goes. And I was like, I'm getting pulled. I'm getting sat the rest of this game. I did. And then he told me, he was like, I was really mad at first. And I was like, no, I'm not. It's like, you deserve that.
Yeah.
But like, it's that competitive edge. And it's like, I miss the being able to do it in person, being able to again look at somebody like that. And that's I got into boxing for a little bit. There's nowhere to do it. I like the gym I used to go to had a heavy bag. It had like a speed bag and stuff. So that's what my cardio. I love boxing for cardio. Um, I wish they would get one here. I don't know if
think
Baker
they-
has one.
Well, they definitely don't have it here, but like in town,
Yeah.
yeah, because I have a friend. He boxes. He's in high school, but he goes to some gyms and stuff. He
Yeah.
always invites me. I should go out there and watch.
You should.
Yeah.
It's fun. I wrestled. I wrestled for a little bit. I enjoyed that. I just didn't want to in high school and middle school. I didn't like the cutting weight. I think that's a whole different issue with, I think, telling, because I did it in elementary school, and I remember there are kids that like, there's a kid that ate nothing but Jello for a week, and I'm like, you're in elementary school, dude.
You should
What
be
do you?
yeah.
It's like just to make weight, and it's like I didn't like that. I thought that was unhealthy, and like Connor wrestled. I didn't know if you knew that, but like Connor wrestled.
Wait, no,
and
yeah, I
stuff.
did know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, yeah, but I wrestled. I enjoy it. I like combat sports. I like doing that stuff. I know there's some places in town, but I get to come here for free. I really don't want to pay for another. I want to convince them to hang a heavy bag in the weight room in there.
Yeah,
that'd be
in
crazy.
Baker, right? Right in the back.
Do they have one in there? I haven't been in Baker yet.
I don't think they do, but man, no, they do. They do, yeah.
I'm gonna start working out in Baker, man. I work out in the Gist because I'm like, I like it. It's like quiet, not packed or anything. It's like I'm gonna start working out in Baker. I'm gonna go hit the heavy bag. Like,
so when you walk in, if you just go straight to the left, there's like a room, and it's got mirrors in there, I think. Too.
Yeah.
So you walk in there, there's the heavy bag.
yeah, like one hanging from the like.
Yeah. And see, it's crazy because I remember hitting it last year with my teammate, and I don't know, I totally forgot we got one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, if you ever want, I got an extra pair of boxing gloves. You can always swing over there with
Man,
me.
I'll
You
go
can hit
with
the
you.
heavy bag, dude.
I'll do it for real. I will.
Don't break your hand. I think Brooks would. I think Brooks would yell at me if you broke your hand.
Nah. I mean, I enjoy that though. Like,
yeah.
I used to, when I was young, like, there was a boxer in my town,
Okay.
and I used to just train with him just because I wanted to learn how to fight and,
Yeah.
protect myself. And I remember being so mad, I'm crying, just hitting him. I don't know why. I was a little kid, probably third grader, and he would just let me. Like, he would just let me take it out, and
Yeah.
and then afterwards he would tell me, like, all right, well, when you doing this, you need to, just have your guard up or always have it, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah. Protect yourself, everything. It's like protect your body, like from people is also like physically, so you're not shattering your wrist. Because this thing I always see. By no means I am very amateur. Very amateur.
me too. I'm not saying.
Yeah, but it's like that's one thing I always see people like everybody's first thing in a street. They're like, I'm just gonna punch you in the face. It's like you're gonna shatter your wrist.
Yeah.
You may break their nose, but if you punch right here, that's rock solid bone. Your wrist is going snap. It's like just being able to protect yourself like that. Like
And knowing about it, like I wouldn't have known that, So yeah, man, or like just so like hitting somebody in the temple, or some are softer.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know how to explain it, but
No, I get it's like that's why fighters always say it's like the smartest move is to never get in a street fight. That's how you want to fight is to not get in one.
Yeah.
Whether or not
worry
you
about
think
it,
you
yeah.
don't look like a man because you're backing down, it's like because the reason there's a difference between training physically with that and like actual fighters and stuff versus street fight. Fighters aren't going in there to kill somebody. They're not going in there to like out for blood. They respect each other. They respect the sport. They respect the art. In a street fight, that dude's out for blood. He doesn't know how to not hit somebody in the temple or like not hit somebody in the wrong way to where it could kill them. It's like it's the smartest thing you can do because the last thing you want is hit somebody the wrong way or you get hit the wrong way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, man, and don't get me wrong, I've been in my fair share of like all throughout my life, been in some fights, but I would say being in those fights, kind of the same. You get the same, like, what am I doing it for? I'm just gonna get in trouble again, like, or at when I'm at high school, when I'm in like elementary school, I'm just beat up. They're gonna bring their friends. I'm gonna get jumped. I'm like, what am I doing it for? So yeah, man. But kind of, I want to go back to that point, like where you were talking about, like the passion.
Yeah.
I was and I think it might be Kobe that kind of put this thought in my mind. He was talking about like what he was doing after and stuff, and like, oh well, I have that same drive for my daughter's AAU team,
Yeah.
and my business, and so that's what kind of made me think about. And it's been years, you know. I kind of have been thinking about it for a while now. Obviously, probably since my senior year, but man, just like okay, how can I apply this same drive and passion to something else? And so when I'm looking at jobs, like I don't really know. I want to go pro, and I I should be able to, but it's a lot up in the air. You never really know.
Yeah.
And so if I can't, looking at jobs and stuff that can kind of fulfill that passion. So what's something I like to do? I really like to make money whenever I'm not playing basketball, obviously, but I don't like to be away from my family. I want to have like build a quality home. Okay, so how can I do that? I've been looking at project managing, you know, and my friend's already a project manager at VMI, or not VMI. He came from VMI. Now he's at Westco or something like that.
Okay.
And he's a project manager, and he's making decent money. He's living the life he wants. He's flexible. He's traveling, you know, and so it kind of just puts me in perspective in a way. And it's like, all right, I can still kind of apply that same drive if I'm going to try my best to make as much money as I can. I'm going to try my best to live, like, create a life for my family the best I can, you know? And
Yeah.
so, I don't know, that Kobe kind of put that, I guess, or whoever put that in my head. But for a while, that's what I've been thinking about. It's like, I'll just try to find a way to use that passion in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you close to? I assume you're pretty close to your family. The way you talk about them and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because over the years I haven't been there, but like through text, through calls, and man, like that's all you got. So
Yeah. Do you try and go back to South Carolina as much as I know you said you're gonna do your best to leave after this weekend and stuff like that?
man, it's
I bet it's tough.
yeah, but I don't really go back as often as I should, and it's not really like I can. Sometimes it's just like season's going on, or it's the end of the semester, or like some other situation that I just can't control. Then it's like I gotta kind of like maneuver around it. But that's kind of the part of being a man or being a grown up at that point. You know, it's like, well, you can't always get what you want, but maybe down the line, if you work hard enough, or if you like figure things out in the future, you can eventually go do that. And so, I'm looking forward to going home a lot after the season. You know, because I shouldn't have too much going on for real.
Yeah.
Besides like trying to work a job, if I do have to work a job. But I am looking forward to going home some. And then if I do go overseas, then it's like, when's the next time I'll be home again? You know, so that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. Is all your family back in South Carolina, or are they kind of spread out a little bit?
Nah, everybody back home.
Yeah.
My little brother actually moved to Ohio not too long ago, just kind of figure out like if he wanted to live somewhere else, and came back.
Yeah.
My older brother is in Augusta, Georgia, which is like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
My sister, she lives like 30 minutes away from the house. So, and we live in Georgia now.
Oh, okay. So not in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So you're in Georgia. Okay.
It's just on the border though, so it's like 15 minutes from. How I explain this? You ever heard of Savannah?
Yeah. I got a good friend that lives in Savannah, or I don't know if he lives there. He's from Savannah.
Yeah,
So.
man. I'll tell you, like, you can be in Savannah, and then 15 minutes later, you're in the town that we grew up in South Carolina.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of back and forth from there whenever I was growing up. It's kind of cool though, because I get the best of both. I was a city boy, and then I had to go to country boy. You know.
Yeah.
Like, so.
What's that beach right outside of Savannah that's supposed to be really nice?
Really nice. You're not talking about Tybee Island?
Is it Tybee? I thought that was nice.
Hilton Head Island?
Yeah, I think it's Tybee. Is it? Well, okay.
It's not the best.
Fill me in a little bit on that, because I always thought it was nice, and that's my buddy Eric out there. I think he was like, oh yeah, I took like me and my mom, my sister went out to Tybee. It was really nice, and I'm like, okay, enlighten me a little bit on it.
Man.
I've never been out there.
So basically, what it is like, the water is real murky. It's just like it looks dirty. The sand.
That's a great start.
Yeah, like the sand is not like I don't know how to explain it. It's not the most appealing when you look at like, oh, this is a beach? Oh,
Yeah.
I'll go here. You look up Tybee Island and you look up like how the water look, or just, and it is kind of packed sometimes. Like it's really busy. So if you're looking for just like a chill beach time with your family, or like just go out there, put your feet in the water, I mean, you can still do that, but it ain't gonna be what you think.
You ain't personally recommended it out there? You're like, I'm not personally going to
No.
be my first stop out there.
I would just say go to Hilton Head Island, which is in South Carolina. But it's, so if you were where I'm at, it's called like Effingham. You got Tybee Island, which is like an hour away, or you got Hilton Head Island, which is like hour 10. But it's like kind of the same. Hilton Head's a little better.
Yeah.
And then they got like, I always like the Hilton Head strips because they got a bunch of different. The South Carolina ones always look better to me for some reason. But I love Georgia.
A little bias right there, though.
Yeah, I might be, but I don't know, cause yeah, I would say go to Hilton Head for sure.
Okay.
Man, I don't. You can look at it if you want.
I'll look. I'm gonna tell him you said. I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna be like, hey, I got another insider right here that said Tybee's not a good spot to go.
Tybee's not the way. I want to know what he says actually, cause yeah, I don't know.
I think it's been a while since we talked about it. I know it was last summer, something like that. My family has a big 4th of July party. Invited him down. He came the year before, and he was like, dude, he's like, me and my family are going out to Tybee that weekend. He's like, if I wasn't there, I would be. But it sounded like he was like
excited for it,
yeah,
right?
so
it's a beach. It's a beach.
And you know what? Growing up in the middle of Missouri, I didn't get to see a lot of beaches.
So
we go down to like Gulf Shores, or we went there once. We went to like Panama City Beach once. So like,
oh, I heard of that.
Yeah, I'm more of a mountains guy. I like hiking. I like going out. We went to Tennessee one year. It was awesome. It was gorgeous. Went out to Pigeon Forge, and we went hiking in the mountains. I like doing that stuff whenever I'm out. So
that's crazy, because I did a little bit of that at VMI. So VMI, they do it's not like a lot of mountains, but it's like you can go hiking and
it's good scenic. It's like scenic. You can go see stuff. So
man, and so I actually was I was an advisor in a program at VMI for I was working for the summer, and we had to do a bunch of different stuff, and I was able to go hiking with the kids, and we stayed overnight. But it wasn't what you think. Like, we went hiking. It was cool at first. Everything was good. And then I think it just started storming out of nowhere. Like bad.
oh no.
And so I don't want to get nobody in trouble, but, man, listen, they were...
Hey, it's past statute of limitations. You're good, man. You're good.
Everybody's leaving, right? And me and my teammate who worked the same, like we were working that program or whatever, we were just in the back. Nobody checking. Where's Dev? Tay, where they at? So we thinking like if we didn't catch up with the group, we would have been stuck at the top trying to figure out how to get down.
Yeah.
And
is that out in the Appalachian Mountains too?
oh, that's close. That's in North Carolina. But that's yeah, nah. It's like
I was about to say, if you got stuck in the Appalachians though in a storm, oh no, that's a death trap right there.
Like you, yeah. Try to find somebody that survived something like that.
Yeah.
Like, man.
What is it? There's a story about a kid. This is the craziest one. There's a story about this little boy. I think he was like 3 or 5 years old, like really young. Got lost from his parents one day. Ended up, like, they found him like a couple hours later, like 3 miles from where he originally got lost in a dense Appalachian mountain forest. Mm-hmm. And they had I think they had the Green Berets or like some military group, like squad, try and recreate that. And they're like, we couldn't even trek that far in that amount of time. So they're like, how did that kid end up that far? They think a mountain lion or something like took him, picked him up or something like that. But it's like,
with him?
Yeah. Wow. Like treating him as a little cub or something like that. So
I couldn't even imagine.
Dude, I love those stories like that. I get really deep into like the not conspiracy theories, but like the true crime stuff, like the weird stuff. And you see a lot with the Appalachian Mountains quite a bit. So, sorry, I just got. Oh, I don't know.
Man, but nah, I love conspiracy theories. Like, I don't know.
Let's hear it. Craziest one. Let's hear it.
Area 51.
Area
I think
51?
That's the craziest one.
You an alien believer?
Yes,
100%?
I do. Are you?
Yeah, I think so. Man, this is turning into a Joe Rogan podcast right
No, I
now.
really.
I think so. I think it's hard for me to believe there's not
Anything
something.
else? Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we find something, I think it'll be like bacteria or something real small. But if something finds us, it's going to be more advanced than
Bigger,
us. But if
yeah.
we find something, it's going to be real small. It's going to be like people are like, it's an alien. It's going to be creepy. It's going to be like bacteria on like an ocean body on some planet that we find. It's like
See, man, and like, part of me, I want to agree with you, but there is a part of me that says, what, like, so let's say there was another civilization or whatever coming to Earth and like, oh, we want to help y'all. This is how y'all really should be living to preserve your planet. And we were like, nope, snatch them right in, put them to Area 51. You see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I don't know. How to
Do you think
explain
the
it.
aliens helped build the pyramids then? Are you on that bandwagon or? I got you
am.
cooking right now.
Yeah, like, no,
You
but for
cooking
real.
right
I'm just thinking about it because it's like, who else? How? You know, and like a lot of.
To be fair, though, the technology they had in order to build that stuff is like
Yeah.
it's insane. It's a lot of technology we lost. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm a big history guy too. So like when the I don't know, like the Library of Alexandria, whenever like that burnt down, stuff like that, we lost over 1,000 years worth of knowledge. Like we got set back like 1,000 years whenever the Library of Alexandria got burnt down.
Wow,
Stuff
I
like
didn't know
that.
this.
And it's like think about that technology we could have lost
Yeah.
like, with Egypt and like those ancient civilizations.
So, have you ever heard of the town or the? It was probably like when Jamestown was a big thing. You ever heard of that one town that was lost?
Yeah.
Like, just nobody was there when they got there.
Yeah, what is that? Oh my gosh. I got to look this up. What is
Yeah.
that? I need a producer to be like, "Jamie, look that up."
Yeah. Go ahead and look this up for me. And you tell us, right?
Wasn't it like a lost? It would have been like Pilgrim. It would have been like Pilgrim Town.
Yeah.
Lost early American settlement. I know I've heard of this. The Lost Colony.
That's what. Yeah.
Roanoke.
Ro-
Roanoke.
No, that's Roanoke. So VMI Lexington is like 50 minutes from Roanoke,
Okay.
and I didn't even know
I
it was
think
in
it's-
Roanoke.
Yeah, early American lost settlements include Roanoke, where colonists vanished, leaving
Yeah.
Croatoan carved behind, suggesting assimilation with local tribes. Yeah. Okay. What were you saying about Roanoke?
No, it's just crazy because like I didn't even know that about Roanoke, and I've been there or around Roanoke for 4 years, and obviously you hear some of the Civil War, Civil War
Yeah.
history, and then kind of like just the extraterrestrial stuff that not extra, the like ghosts maybe.
Yeah, like the
haunting.
paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
You're up in the air. That's witch trials, early American civilization.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And it's like, what could have happened? What happened to those people is what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not saying that's like a conspiracy theory. It just makes me think,
Yeah.
how in the world could that have happened? The pyramids, how are they so? I don't know. You just got me going down a rabbit hole.
Think about how it was formed. Think about that.
Yeah,
Like
and-
I think about like cliff cities, like cities that were carved into like cliff sides. You ever seen those? Like there were some
Cliffsides,
ancient
what
like
you mean?
Native American tribes, and I think there were a lot in like the southern part of North America, so like Mexico and like that region.
Oh, okay.
That they were cities that their houses were just carved into the sides of mountains. So
Yeah,
they wouldn't
that's
build
what
things.
okay.
They would just carve them into mountains and like mountain cities.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thought. Crazy thought.
Yeah. Like even taking it back, like just what's that? What's it called? Like early civilization where they sent the women to gather and then they sent the men. to hunt.
Oh, just like
But the place it's a certain maybe it's just like too far going in my mind. But there was a place where it's like they kind of started civilization at the time, and everybody was like, oh well.
Was it Mesopotamia?
Yeah, that's exactly.
yeah.
I don't want to say that. And
Yeah, no, you're good. The first, dude, you're fine. It's supposed to be the first civilization was
Yeah.
Mesopotamia.
And man, like you kind of go back and look at all like how they communicated, how they worked together and stuff. Even before that, Sanskrit or whatever. I think that was
Yeah.
before, right? Yeah, like just how I don't know, just not American humans have evolved over time.
Yeah.
And I think about that, and I also think about how could a whole civilization of people just vanish, just like
Yeah.
that, not a trace of. And then I don't know if they said they looked around or whatever and was trying to like find if other places might have like taken them or.
That's what the brief description I got there, and it rings a bell. A lot of the commonality, like common theory that people think is they got assimilated by a Native American tribe.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of grouped together and got like brought into the tribe, I think is the common theory. And reading that right there, I think it kind of rings a bell that that's what a lot of people think. They think it was Native Americans of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
They think either it was a massacre, they think it was they got assimilated or something along those lines, which the assimilation would make sense, especially you got to think probably we're in a famine of some sort. There was some sort of drought. They need food.
Yeah, so
They're
it's
like, hey,
yeah.
we'll trade you for this. They taught them X, Y, and Z, and they're like, well, we'll just
join. Yeah,
gather
that
together
does
right
make
there.
yeah. And so I don't know. I guess we could probably solve some stuff. You know, we just sit here and talk it out. But
Dude, I love looking up history and like historical facts and just crazy things like that. I'm big into like I like scary things. I like horror and stuff. So I get into like cryptids or like ancient, like I guess like horror stuff, paranormal stuff, like ancient cryptids, ancient religions, how that kind of stuff plays into it. It's creepy. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's real creepy though.
Yeah.
And like I mean, like obviously a big one is like the Wendigo is a big one and stuff like
What?
that. You ever heard of the Wendigo?
Wendigo, no.
So it's excuse me if I'm like definitely butchering it, part of it, but it's a Native American folklore to where like essentially they believed if you cannibalize somebody, if you ate somebody, you got like possessed with greed and like hunger and like stuff like that, and it turns you into this weird creature called the Wendigo. And essentially, it was once you went down that path, it essentially taught against like greed, it taught against like gluttony, it taught against like stuff like that. But the whole theory is it's like that you eventually turned into like an animal human hybrid that could like go through the woods and like that's why you ever seen the videos? It's like that deer's looking at me weird or something like that. That deer looks human or something.
Yeah.
No,
I've seen that. So
that's like the theory right there is like that and skinwalkers.
Skinwalker. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and that's like an offshoot of Native American, and like that's where they kind of get brought into the same thing. They're different, but they kind of get brought into the same thing of like they basically hunt humans. They hunt humans, eat them, stuff like that. They can turn into animals. They blend in with the woods, and that's kind of the theory. The skinwalkers is a crazy one because like this is one I fully buy into because. Like Uncanny Valley, like things that are uncanny and stuff, like they look almost human, and it's the idea that like we inherently naturally hate things that almost look human, but
they aren't.
They aren't.
Yeah, it
like
throws us off. I know. Yeah,
I buy into that 100% because I'm like, what in history is the reason that that's the case? I buy into that 100%.
So what do you think?
There has to be something with like skinwalkers and stuff.
Because no, I studied like uncanny. How do I explain it? The uncanny? Essentially. Yeah. Whenever I was in probably my senior year at VMI, we had to take a class and it taught us about just a bunch of different cultures and how a lot of that stuff, especially like in the 19th century, it kind of was just uncanny for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Like nostalgia and stuff like that, or uncanniness in general.
It was more so like literature because it was like I was an English major, and so it was like when they were talking about like Gothic and like they were creating those kind of genres, if that makes sense. And like they included a bunch of like uncanny. I'm looking for like an author that I can think about. There's a bunch. I'm gonna send you something and see like, oh man, like that's what you were talking about. But yeah, like just the uncanny in general. How like, what do you think in history caused us to be like, oh man, like that thing looks like not even an ape, but just like
Like it's almost human, but the eyes are too big.
Yeah.
Smiles. I genuinely do. I buy into the paranormal. I buy into like it was some sort of creature that we were taught to fear at a primal level.
Yeah.
That it's like cooked into us. Now, that could have been like skinwalkers if you want to talk about it from that. I have my own like paranormal experiences. Like I believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you that story in a second, but it's like I buy into that 100%. Now, if you want to look at it from outside of that, it was probably like humans hunting other humans, like tribes fighting, and they would like disguise themselves of some sort. And we were like taught to fear something that's like that's not quite right.
Yeah.
But I do. I think it's paranormal. With that, I do buy into the paranormal stuff. I've had weird experiences. I had a ghost encounter whenever I was younger. I lived in the basement of our house, and basically it was really pitch black down there, so I'd leave a light on in the bathroom, so that if like I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, wasn't opening the door, pitch black, fumbling around for like everything. And the way the hallway works is like the bathroom is here and my bedroom door is right here, so I closed it. For some reason I decided to lock it that night. So go to bed, shut everything off, lay down, and like no kidding, like 5 seconds later I just hear a woman just go like, "I am here." Vivid as day, I swear to it. And I shoot out of bed and I just hear like walking on the hardwood, stops right in front of my bedroom door. And because that bathroom light is on, I see two shadows of feet under the door. And I hear breathing coming from under my bed.
That's giving me chills thinking about it.
I sat up in bed, no kidding, for a couple hours. I turned the TV on, sitting in bed. I'm like, I eventually
just trying to like
I eventually got up. I had to go to the bathroom. I eventually got up and I was like, I grabbed like the knife off my side table. I grabbed like a bat, and like I still heard the breathing coming from under my bed. I was like, okay, if somebody's under here, they're gonna be stuck under there. It's gonna scare me, but I got some like if they have a gun, I'm dead no matter what. But besides the point. So I look under the bed, nothing there, Breathing stops. Still see the feet under the door. So I unlocked the door. I had the knife in my hand. I was like, okay. Threw the door open. It went, nothing there. Shut the door. The feet are gone.
Oh my gosh. No.
Dude.
See, but I believe that though. Like,
I do too. Like I believe in the paranormal. I've had weird experiences. I've had experiences with like cryptids. I've heard weird things at night. I was walking back from campus whenever I was in school, middle of the night. I believe in these things called black-eyed children. They're like this thing. And basically it's like uncanniness. It comes into like skinwalkers, uncanniness. It's basically like kids that mimic kids, like they look like kids, but they don't talk like kids or act like kids. And I just heard, I was walking a friend to her dorm room, walking back. I just hear, there's an elementary school on Northwest campus. I hear from over there, I just hear like, "Help us. We're stuck down here." But like very deadpan.
Yeah.
But in a little kid's voice, just kept walking. Kept walking.
Yeah.
Kept
excuse
walking.
me. Yeah.
No, you're good, dude. You're good. Yeah, I don't worry about language out here, so you're good, dude.
But nah, like, that's just like how, that one movie, Pennywise.
Yeah, it.
Man. And I'm terrified of clowns. So, like.
I am too. I will say, did you ever watch Ben 10 growing up?
Yes.
The episode in Ben 10 with the circus and the clowns and like the creepy clowns and stuff like that?
No.
In the early show, like early seasons, there was an episode they went to the circus with these creepy clowns that like stole people's souls. I hated clowns since then, dude. It scarred me growing up.
Like, that's what I couldn't even imagine. And so it didn't really like hit me until you remember about the clown episode.
Yeah.
I remembered that, and then in the high school, college.
Turn on the lights while you're talking. You can keep talking to me.
But in college, like me and my friends decided to watch Terrifier.
Oh, great decision right there. If you hate clowns.
Exactly. And like just I can still see that creepy smile just
Art the clown just
yes. And he's not saying a word. He's just pulling out knives or like little stuff, and then he kills you.
Yeah.
Man, but that kind of made me think like, because he's like he's not actually a clown. It's like possessed or something like.
Yeah, it's like I'm a big movie guy too, so like I looked at it's supposed to be like a demon.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like You ever like heard about the hag riding you?
Yes.
Man,
The hag
yeah.
that'll sit on your chest and stuff like that.
I had that happen to me before when I was like young though, and it's not like
No.
I don't think of it because I try my best not to think of it like, oh yeah, hag ride me.
Yeah.
I just couldn't move, and I remember something similar to what you talking about, like, oh yeah, well, it's breathing and
Like
I'm-
sleep paralysis. She got sleep
yeah,
paralysis.
that's all it was.
But dude, that's still like
I couldn't, man. I'm trying to move, I'm trying to breathe, like not breathe, but trying to move, like I'm wide awake.
yeah.
It feels like I'm wide awake, but I'm wide awake. I can't like move. I know something right there. I just can't like. And then eventually, time passes. I wake up
Yeah.
the next day, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, was there actually somebody there? I
Yeah.
couldn't move. Like, I don't know. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I've gotten sleep paralysis before.
Yeah, it's not the greatest.
No, I've gotten it I think 2 or 3 times. First time it happened, like I woke up, like I was sitting there like this. I remember trying to move my arm. It took all the strength in the world to get my arm to just go like that, like slightly fall to my side. I'm like, this is awful.
Yeah.
I hated it. It was, yeah, that's crazy.
Man, I tell you. And like, I think I tried to tell my brother that the next day, and I'm just,
Your older brother, I'm guessing?
nah,
He's-
my younger brother.
Oh, okay, I was about to say
Because
your older brother's probably like, you're crazy, dude.
Yeah,
like, what do you?
like, my younger brother said the same. Like, I didn't hear nobody last night, and so like that's the worst. I was so scared from that point because it's like, I know I heard somebody, but I don't. I just think it was like my mom playing tricks on me, like
Yeah.
sleep paralysis, or it could have been, And so that's what I'm saying. I can't.
My thought process behind the whole thing, there's a podcast I listen to where they tell like horror stories and like tell true scary stories, and like their mindset going in is always it's like 99% of these could be fake, but if one of them is true, it changes everything.
Exactly.
Like it changes everything.
Exactly. And like, what's the chances? 99%. Okay, that one time, that shows us it's real. So it's
Yeah.
like if you say it's like it's fake, that means they still there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that it throws me off, but that kind of going back to conspiracy theories. Like I love conspiracy theories because of that reason, the uncanniness and
Yeah.
being able to kind of, what if, like, oh man, like so.
You can get into some crazy stuff. That's what, like, there's some that I love researching. Do I believe them? No.
Yeah.
Most of them, like, no, but it's fun to think.
Yeah,
It's fun to
it's
think
like,
about.
Wow, like,
And I, like, entertain it. Whenever people are like, I truly believe it, I'm like, tell me why.
yeah.
Convince me.
Yeah.
Because it would be so cool. Like, I want to know why people think. I like psychology a lot. Like, I thought about being a psychology major and stuff, but I don't like writing papers.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like the psychology behind like why people think those things. And have you ever heard of the term like cognitive dissonance?
I've heard of not dissonance, but kind of.
So it's the idea that like if you ever think it's like cult leaders or stuff like that, like cults that are like the world's gonna end and then the world doesn't end but the people still believe in that stuff. It's that idea. It's like when you're proven wrong, people are more likely to double down on their beliefs if you're like blatantly proven wrong. Because we don't like change, we don't like saying that we're wrong as humans and people.
It's like, oh no, like that's still gonna happen.
Yeah, and that's like this researcher essentially, he discovered the term and coined the term and stuff. He went into a doomsday cult and was like, became a member, like did secret research while he was there and stuff. Then they said the world was going to end. And he wanted to study what their reaction would be when it didn't. And it didn't. And he found that people's beliefs in it were even stronger. And that's where he discovered the term cognitive dissonance, which it comes down to that, like, that's why people like conspiracy theorists and stuff like that, if they're proven wrong, like, no, I'm right.
Yeah.
Double down on it. And it comes into that. It's like, I just like knowing why people do the things that they do. So
But no, like, man, classical conditioning, like, or just, a lot of it kind of plays into, like, I don't know, it's all psychology. Like,
Yeah.
Just human interactions and just kind of like, oh, no, yeah, it's all psychology.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
yeah. I got to ask you. I do have to ask you. Complete change of subject.
yeah, what's
But
up?
Also, this plays into it. I wanted to ask you about Simba. I have to.
Yeah.
I have to ask you. But I don't know if they posted it yet. Did you see the graphic we made this week for y'all's game on Saturday?
No.
You wanna see it?
Yes. Is it Simba?
I think you're gonna like this. This is I don't know if that because Tommy was right in the preview. Move this so I can. You'll get to see it first from here. This is one of my favorite graphics I've ever made.
Man.
Ready?
Yeah.
Playing Truman.
You were the dog. That's tough. Yeah. See, man, and like little stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
that boy came from the pound, you know, like,
Really?
and now he gets love from all my teammates, everybody that walks around. He's not a bad dog. Like sometimes he has like a what's it called? He's very energetic, playful.
Gets the zoomies.
Yeah, you know, like, and he's a pit bull, so he's gonna look a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
But sweetest soul. He'll come up on you and like love on you after he just got done barking at you.
Yeah.
Not like barking, but he just wants to play.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't know, man. What were you gonna ask me?
Just why'd you like? How'd you end up getting him? Why'd you end up getting Simba? Like why'd you get a dog?
So that my first year here, I didn't have anything out here. I was kind of like, it would be nice to have something there, you know. And so it worked out perfectly. My friend Preston, he ended up being the basketball manager for us last year. His it was like we had a gathering or something in their house, and somebody was like, "Oh, well, there's a free adoption if you go and get these dogs that are, you know, at
It's like on their last leg or something.
Yeah,
like that.
or-
They're
trying to get rid of some dogs, man." And I went in there, and I went through a few. So Donovan was the first one. I remember this vividly. Donovan was the first one. He was a pup. He was a pit bull puppy. He didn't know no better. He just wanted to play. So when we took him out, he was like more interested in like being outside and kind of experiencing. Obviously, he's probably been around there before, but like just kind of being outside with the other dogs. He was more interested in that. And then Simba was the next one. We pull Simba out, walks right by me, and when we take him outside to kind of like see how he acts with other dogs and just like what he would do.
Yeah.
He laid against me, like he put his head against my like legs or whatever. I was rubbing on him, and he just laid down. So I sat there and I just like rubbed him.
Yeah.
He's just looking up at me, and from that moment I was like, yeah, that's my dog. Like,
Yeah.
and it worked out because they were gonna put dogs down like probably a week later, and I can imagine like my little Simba having to get put down, you know, and I almost had to give him back because I couldn't get my paperwork done in time. It was very impulsive. Like I should have thought about it a little more, but
Glad you didn't.
yeah, like I'm happy I have him, and the hardest part was trying to get the paperwork done. So me and my friend Preston, there was a time where we had to take him back to the pound. That was the hardest thing in my life I ever had, because it was like I didn't know if I was gonna get him back. I didn't know I didn't know what was gonna happen, and I went in there. I couldn't speak. Preston had to talk the whole time. He's crying too. He's like, we just don't have the paperwork right now, and we're gonna get it figured out. This man comes from like nowhere, essentially. He walks in right after us, hears the story. He's like, I'll hold your dog for you, like until you get your paperwork or whatever it was. Best believe the next day I went in there and I had some meetings just trying to like, so what else do I need to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I got the paperwork. Probably like 2 or 3 days. The next, was able to bring Simba back into the dorms, and the rest is history. You know.
Heck yeah,
Man.
Dude, you talked about like your teammates kind of loving on him and stuff like that. We noticed that at media day. I mean, we have more pictures of the team with Simba than we do. Some guys have individual pictures.
Yeah. And that's all I could really ask for. Like, took a dog. I obviously want to give him the best life I can, and a part of that is letting him experience new things, seeing new people, and just taking him on walks with me sometimes, or like, he is my best friend. Like, if I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I talk just to him. Like, Simba, man, I don't get it, bro. Like, you know, like, maybe it's like a math problem or something like that.
Yeah.
But I take him on walks sometimes, and I just feel terrible when I have to leave him in his cage.
Yeah.
And I think about it like, well, he would have been put down, or he would have been in a pound, you know? And that kind of makes me like, wow. Like, I've taken this dog, I've given him a life, and in return, he's like become the best thing I own, or he's like a part of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's my son. That's what I always say. He's my little son.
Yeah, he's the unofficial mascot of the team.
Hey.
That's what we called it. I mean, we ever since we did that with y'all on media day, we've had softball and lacrosse both brought in dogs too. We're gonna put a little sum together for National Pet Day and post it in the spring. So, got to get more pictures with people's pets and stuff like that. So, has he met the rest of your family, or has he had a chance to?
Yeah, we went back last March.
Okay.
Or last March, this March, and that was the last time we seen him. So
yeah,
it'll be good if we can get home to see our family.
Yeah.
Obviously after Saturday.
Yeah.
But if not, we'll see him again at some point. So
yeah. Yeah.
It makes it that much better. Like having a dog or something out here with me. You know, while I'm not home.
Yeah. So. Did you ever have animals growing up?
Yes, and I loved them, but I didn't love them to the extent that I love Simba.
Yeah.
That makes you know how everybody talks about, well, it's my dog. Man, I finally because my dog at home is my dog.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not making sure every day I take her out. My brother can take her out.
Yeah.
Simba is my responsibility. If there's somebody, I'll be like, nah, I gotta take Simba out. I have to make sure he's fed. And so. That comes with a lot, but that makes me just appreciate him that much more.
Yeah.
Because when he's happy, he's playful, he's all up on me, and that feels good.
Yeah. You got somebody to care for, too.
Yes.
It kind of gives you something to do, gives you something to, guess for lack of a better way of saying this, it's like even on your worst days, you're like, well, he's counting on me right here. Yeah. He's counting on me and stuff. So, yeah.
Man, I tell you what, and like trying to train him over the years and stuff was... Well, over the year and some change, trying to just get him to where he's good now.
Yeah.
Like he knows how to sit. He knows to pause before he gets his food. He knows to not pee or poop in the house.
Yeah.
He's real good now, but when I first got him, it was a challenge. He's a pound dog, so a lot of the stuff he just didn't know, you know. And he would chew on my Jordans, like, kid you not, He would chew on my shoes. Never enough to
Not the Dunks, not the Pandas.
Man, I still wear them because they're actually not as bad as.
Hey, give some character. That's what
it's like, what happened to you? My dog bit it. He was just thinking about me, probably nibbled on it.
He was like, man, that smells like Dev. Gotta nibble on
it.
Right?
Like, and man, it's crazy because my mom got him a Simba blanket or not a lion blanket.
Yeah.
And I would see him kind of try to nibble on it because it probably has her scent.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, he's very emotionally, he understands, if that makes sense. If somebody important to me, he's going to know.
Pitbulls are also really smart dogs, too.
Yeah.
Very intelligent dogs.
It's crazy because sometimes he acts like he doesn't know no better, and he just goes crazy. And I'm trying to, Simba, chill out. But then, like, afterwards, I can tell that he knows, and he'll be like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Or like, he's trying to make up for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. That's how it started.
Yeah.
That's how it's going.
Yeah. I've heard, I think at least what I know with pit bulls, they get a bad rep, obviously, but it's like what I think the history that I kind of got told about pit bulls or found through research, they actually used to be nanny dogs. Like they were bred to take care of children, which is why they're very like aggressive towards non-familiar things.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I found whenever I was looking through that and stuff. Now other people have different stories with stuff, but apparently they were nanny dogs, and they were known as like nanny dogs to like take care of your kids, watch over your kids, and stuff like that. So it's crazy how they get the bad rap. I mean, and I get they are a little more aggressive than some other dogs, but it's also like they're dogs at the end of the day. I mean, they just want to be loved. They're chilling around. So
that's what I was, man. Like it goes back to like the owner or. Really, I saw this saying, there's no bad dogs.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if I saw it or I heard it or something.
Yeah, there's no bad dogs, it's just bad owners.
Bad owners, and because you could take a bad dog and you give it love and eventually it'll be better.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same with people.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just like stubborn, they never got no love.
Yeah.
you just appreciate them sometimes, and it opens their eyes. You know, it's like, oh man, like what was I doing?
Yeah, show a little bit of love to people. Be kind. Show a little bit of love to people. It'll go a long way.
Go
You get
along,
people to open up. So yeah,
man.
yeah. What's it like being here this year? I mean, change coaching staff and stuff. And you've gone through that obviously with different things, but a little bit of basketball here. Tell me about it a little bit. Fun. You are playing really well this year.
Yeah.
You're I think you have I couldn't find your exact point average, but I think it's the highest point average you've had in a while here. You're getting in good minutes, you're getting in like putting up stats. You're playing really good this year. You're fun to watch. And the team in general, everybody it seems so cohesive out there. And obviously there's things that I don't know as an outsider and stuff, but it just seems like
Well, what you see is kind of what you it's the same. Like,
really
we're very, and that's one of the biggest things I've never really been a part of is a good team that is just, we're all like on the same page, if that makes sense.
yeah.
We might not all agree on the same things. Like, obviously, you put a bunch of different dudes together for the first time. They might not agree with each other, but I think everybody puts their differences aside, and we all just, all right, we want to win. We're going to find a way to win. We're going to play together. We're going to have to, in order to win, especially being in this conference. It's a tough conference.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the biggest thing about this year is, like, our team is already a lot closer than, and I'm not throwing no shade at the previous teams that I've been on or anything like that, but this team is a lot more closer than those teams that I've been on. I would say it kind of reminds me of my sophomore year at VMI, which I couldn't even play, but just watching how close that team was.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was included. Everybody felt equally important, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of that.
Yeah.
Because we all got different things that we're looking forward to. So if I win the national championship, right?
Yeah.
National championship. Our MIAA championship, we go to the tournament. And I'm able to kind of have that on my resume as I'm trying to be a pro.
Mm-hmm.
That helps me. If Trey McCowan, if he wins this year, it helps him whenever he's growing because now he's like seen as, I don't know how to explain it, but he's going to be a big part of Missouri Western next year.
Yeah.
Him, Bodie Goodman, and a bunch of different pieces. Like,
young team.
Exactly.
3 seniors on the team.
Yeah.
I look at this team and I'm like, I have never gotten to experience a really good basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I was in school, I mean, that was towards the tail end of like Ben McCollum and those kind of years. But like seeing a team, you guys flow really well together out on the court. It looks like obviously there's hiccups. You don't want to lose, but also you're only 2 losses. I don't know if you've kept up with those. Number 3 and 4 team in the nation.
They're 4 now. They were 6.
West Texas is 4, and then who was
Southern
it?
Nass.
Southern Naz is 3 or something like that.
Washburn's 2.
Washburn was 1 earlier this week in the nation, and I think they may have bumped up or bumped down, but
Nah, I'm sure they're probably still 1.
But it's like, you hate to say it, quality losses, especially at the beginning of the year. You guys are still getting used to playing together. And I just see a good future with setting a foundation. And I like that it looks like a turning point right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, don't want to speak too early. But
yeah, because nobody wants to peak in December or,
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing about this team is, like, everybody's kind of on the same track. We're not trying to peak in December. We're trying to peak in February. And it's only going to get better because we're all competing.
Yeah.
Like, you got to show up. You got to do your job. If you don't, you're held accountable, not only by the coaches but by a lot of players on the team.
Yeah.
Not just the seniors or the juniors like Trey, Bodie. They say stuff, and I think that goes a long way because accountability shouldn't just be one person. It should be the whole team as a like a unit, and you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah.
And I think we all kind of buy into that. And so if you look at our team, you look at our roster, nobody really wants to be a weak link.
No.
So that's what pushes us all to be better. I don't know how to explain it. You look at the eye test, you put Washburn up against us, and you look at them, you be like, oh, well, who's supposed to win? And that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If we can just kind of, like, keep this mindset to where it's like we're a team. We're just going to keep getting better, keep growing. Obviously, in the future, Yeah, like how you said, we're setting the foundation. We're
Yeah.
setting the foundation for 3 to 4 years now, where it's like, okay, they won 3 out of 4 of the last MIAA championships,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what I want to be a part of. I want to be able to help that, and this year it's been a blessing for me because I've been able to just be that, and not have to worry about. I don't know how to explain it because last year I was dealing with a bunch of life stuff. Not have to worry about external things. I can just focus on getting my master's and playing basketball and being there for my team, man. Like trying to win games for everybody. Like, giving my experience back to the younger players and man, because I would want to see Missouri Western just, oh yeah, they won this year, they won next year, they're probably gonna win again next year.
Yeah.
Like how Northwest was.
You want it to be a dynasty.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
For sure.
I think it's cool. Like I said, it being a young team. I mean, and I've noted every single game that because whenever I'm sitting up there doing the broadcast, I'll look up at the scores and I'm like, you have 4 to 5 guys a game
In double
double digits, and it's like, and then Noah plays really well. Has like I think Tommy said he's averaging like 17 or 19 a game or something like that, hitting 20s consistently. But then Gavin did the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you've seen Ty hit it the other day, and then Marco's hitting double doubles. You're hitting. I mean, I said it to you after William Jewell. That was a career high at D2 for you, and you're consistently hitting big marks. It's like everybody on the team, and everybody's putting in quality minutes. And even I've talked to Frank and Traeger, even guys that are sitting on the bench, don't necessarily get to see as many minutes. After the Jewel game, I was interviewing Marco, and I panned the camera to Traeger, and Traeger looks like a happy dad. He's like,
yeah,
he's filming him, and I was like, you need to hop in here. He's like, nah, I'm just a happy dad right now, looking at my son, and it's like, Frank always breaks you guys down in the locker room. It's like even the guys that aren't getting those minutes are still contributing a lot to the team.
Yeah,
and it's like I feel like that's some you see the guys normally they're like really salty. They're I don't get to get them, but it's like it's just you guys are fun to watch. It's a fun team to watch, and the fans are turning out. I mean, we had to turn people away from the Education Day game because we didn't have any seats. We had people reaching out, just fans that weren't elementary school kids that were like, hey, I heard we can't get tickets to this game. It's like we had to find a way to fit seats in there for people to show up, and that part of the stands got packed still. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, and Connor has seen it a lot more, him being from St. Joe and stuff. But it's like, I love it. I like this kind of thing. I like this kind of environment. It's really fun and it's really awesome to watch.
It just seemed like the community's kind of getting behind us, and even before that, man, I always have had good interactions with everybody in the community. They always take care of me, man. Everybody within just St. Joe, even if they don't know I'm a basketball player, and just that alone, it kind of makes me want to play harder, or I just enjoy this community. Everybody here is just and I'm not gonna there's a couple bad apples obviously, but man, the love that's here, the being that Missouri Western is the only college in this town, it's like everybody can kind of attract to us, and I want it to be one of those things where it's like, we're going to go interact and we're going to shake, and obviously I'm just one person, but I think everybody on the team thinks that way, where it's like, well, if we're winning games, we're doing it in a fun way, there's going to be a lot more people to come. All right, let's make sure we interact with them, Missouri Western's really good with that, so we don't have to go out our way much to do it, with the bell and stuff, and we just, stuff like that, but
it seems fun with the athletic department too. I mean, speaking of, obviously I work in the athletic department, but it seems more like it's just kind of that culture. It's not like a culture where it's like, get back to the locker room, it's like, no, go out and talk to people. Build, and it's fully supported, and I feel like you also don't get to see that all the time because it's always, from what I always say, it's like, get back to the locker room. It's like, do this. It's just...
It's very... And I think credit to Coach Brooks, because honestly, a lot of the times it feels very... Not on this team, but in the years before me, it's been very traditional coaches. Like if they like a certain style, they like that style, but they're gonna do coaching the same way. If that makes sense. Brooks is a player's coach, and a lot of coaches try to say, "Oh, I'm a player's coach." Like I try to tell them out. He's a true player's coach in the sense that regardless of like position or where you at on the roster or what, he'll talk to you and he'll tell you exactly what you need to do to get better. But he'll how you doing? Like like
Yeah.
it just seems so genuine with him, and he's so like, all right, ready to practice, and then everybody comes in. No long speeches. No, he says what we need to do. If we don't do it, then somebody else is gonna do it, and that's how it should be, And it's hard to say like going back to like when you talked about teams, it's like, man, I'm not playing, and like I've been on a lot of teams like that, and I've been on teams where it's like we're on the positive side. Like everybody's like, man, like I see how good we can be. What can I do to impact that? So you talk about Frank. Frank, man, in practice he's giving us like he's killing us, like if that makes sense, and it's helping us prepare for different teams.
Yeah.
Like Traeger, same thing. He's kind of been a really decent. Like I don't know how to explain it, man, but everybody on the team is valuable, and it takes a different type of team to realize that and buy into it, obviously, because you'll have a bunch of different cultures clash and a bunch of different egos, personalities.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to get them on one page, especially after 1 year. So that's why I say credit to Coach Brooks, because he's established it to where it's like not player-led, but very cohesive.
Yeah.
We all working together. One what's that old machine? Well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
I noticed that going in the locker rooms during like half, the first time I was in there during the UMSL game, I didn't know how to react because I'm always like, oh, I'll go in there, get the halftime speech. If there's something cool that he says, like that's my mindset. I went in there. He walks in, is like, all right, guys, you know what to do, and walks out immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, is he coming back into the locker room? What? And then you guys just start talking. You guys are like, here's what we need to do, X, Y, Z, like all this stuff. Then he comes in, he's like, all right, boys, let's have a great second half.
Yeah.
Like, never in my life have I ever seen a coach just go, all right, boys, leaves. I'm like, I've noticed that throughout the season too. Like you guys are talking in the locker room, and you guys are coaching each other up, and it's not like what does this guy know? It's like tell me how I need to do better. Like and it's I don't know. It's cool. It's cool to see.
Man, and that's a recipe for a great team. And so I don't want to speak too soon because obviously I want to make sure that we do perform and we get to work because I don't see nothing other than an MIAA championship. Like like that's the goal. And so I don't want to like speak on nothing crazy, but just the way we've been moving, I pray we keep moving that way. And credit to Coach Brooks again because he's created that environment for us to where it's like we can come in and we all know we need to perform. Like, and he's not gonna. Rarely will you ever see him like just get into somebody. He's just gonna be like, look, this is what you need to do, and then one of the players will be like, look, you need to get better, And so I don't know how to explain it, but he has created that. He's very smart coach.
Yes.
So, I mean, it shows from his history. That I already knew whenever I was getting. I guess I was getting recruited by him too.
Yeah.
But
you were getting recruited. He wanted you to stay. I mean, it's like,
I mean, that is a blessing in itself, So I'm just glad that I'm here. I'm glad that we are where we are. But obviously, if we were 2-10, like I would be saying, I'm blessed to be here. It would be looking a little different. We would be probably talking about like, okay, how's the team feeling now? You know what I'm saying? But just like where we are is a blessing in itself. My position is the blessing itself. Like, I don't know. I'm just thankful for everything right now. And, things could change. Not like I'm always be thankful, but I pray we keep winning games. And I pray, like things that have been going the way they've been going, stay the way they've been going. Yeah. So, and that comes with consistency and doing what we've been doing. So, I think it'll work out. Yeah.
What else do you want people to know about Devin Butler? What do you do outside of basketball, man? Anything like it seems like basketball is like what you do. Like you enjoy. Do you have any, like, aside from conspiracy theories, do you have any, like, hobbies, anything you do outside of that? Like,
So I got like hooked into Clash Royale. I can't stop playing it. It's funny you asked that because last night I went to go pee and I just started playing Clash.
you were in the bathroom for 30 minutes, weren't you?
Man, just and like trying to, but like it was a challenge for me, just trying to get better, and that's something that I like to do is like
Yeah.
challenge myself to get better in a lot of different things. So there was a point I was just drawing, just trying to get better at drawing. I'm not an artist or nothing, but I was like, oh, I want to be. I don't really know. Sometimes I just don't know, but
Yeah.
I love to read. I love just like being in an environment to where it's like I can clear my mind and only focus on if I'm reading or if I'm meditating. I love nature, so I'll go for a bunch of walks, and that's kind of where all my time goes because I watch film. I watch a bunch of film. Probably more so. This might be bad to say. Probably more so on myself because I'm so critical. Like I have to. Man, that didn't look good. How do I make this better? Or stuff like that. And I watch the good stuff because it shows you the type of player you are and what you can become if you just. I don't know how to explain it, but basically a lot of my time is devoted to basketball. And then if I like, obviously academics is important, but if I do have time on the back end, it's more so just like enjoying nature, just trying to find peace because basketball can get hectic, your life can get hectic, but what's going to be enjoyable, whatever I think is enjoyable at the time, I'm going to do it. And so that's kind of where I go.
Yeah, just bettering. It sounds like a lot of just bettering yourselves, whether it is clearing your head or anything like that. How, like, I tried meditating for a little bit. I enjoy it. I have a lot of thoughts
Just
actively racing. So, like, what do you recommend for people? And, like, personally, how do you recommend getting into it a little more? Meditate. Because I found whenever I do it, I enjoy it and it helps. But
so that's kind of the biggest thing, just making sure you're consistent. And it's not like you can go and sit down and try to tell yourself, oh, don't think about it. Don't think about nothing. Even just trying your best to, like, clear your mind, if that makes sense, you're getting better. So eventually, like, the goal in meditation is kind of just be present where you are. So you're not thinking about where I'm going to be 30 minutes from now, 40 minutes from now. I'm just enjoying this moment right here. And so that's kind of one of the keys that somebody gave me whenever I was meditating is like, what do you focus on? I'm focusing on being present in this exact moment. How do I feel? What does the air taste like? Or like, how does this wind blowing by my, stuff like that. Like, just be present in the moment that even if it's 5 minutes, just be present. And then obviously you can kind of grow from there. 30 seconds. You just take a 30-second breather. You just kind of, and that's meditating. That puts you in a better headspace. And a lot of the times what I would do is I'll start off like that. I'll just be present in the moment, try to 5, 10, 15, whatever I'm feeling. And then I think about, okay, this is what I need to do. These are my tasks. And I envision myself kind of executing those tasks. And then from there, I have a different confidence because I feel like I've already lived it.
yeah.
But over time, I've been meditating for a while. Over time, I kind of know what helps my mind believe certain things, about myself, and what helps me essentially just kind of walk and feel better about myself.
Yeah.
So that's I would say focus on the present moment, and then you don't have to like think about your task or nothing like that, but just like when you meditate and focus on your present moment and how you feel, what you need to do to make yourself feel better, or if you feel great, what do you need to do to continue to feel great?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's the biggest key I could say.
Yeah. I really got into, I enjoy stretching and yoga. That's kind of where I find my meditating. Like, I always stretch before a workout. I always stretch after a workout. I started out with, I sit there and I just breathe. I focus on my breathing because also I found it helps relax my neck. So I can pop my neck and stretch it out. But no, like, I found whenever I do meditate, I need to get back into it. Like, I enjoyed it, but it was, I never could quite click the being present in the moment because my mind was always racing and stuff like that. So that's a good way to look at it because I was always like, okay, I need to focus on my breathing. I need to do this. And then it's like Okay, now what do I do? I focused on my breathing.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, I'll definitely take that. Like,
Just be present, even if you're not thinking about your breathing. Just, how am I feeling right now? You don't have to say that. You just sit there, thinking about just life. What helps me? Like, that's kind of the biggest key. It's gonna be hard navigating it at first. Just like, oh well, this is uncomfortable. I feel like I've done it. I've thought about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you just sit and you just keep trying, and that also increases your concentration and being able to concentrate on other things outside of meditating. But if you just keep trying, sometimes you ever hear flow state?
Yeah.
You hit a flow state.
Oh yeah.
And you'll just sit there and you just think about like, it's kind of like you think like, oh man, what's the
He talked about
monk?
Yeah.
Man.
It's like reaching a runner's high, or it's like reaching in Relentless, Tim Grover, whenever he talked about like that's what he said, reaching the flow state. You reach that and you just
keep going. And man, like sometimes I've been in one spot, just sitting in that one spot for hours. Like I'm not kidding, like and I wake up or not wake up, I'm like I'm sitting there and I'm not like I don't have my eyes open obviously because I don't know how to explain it to you, but I kind of realize the time, like, dang, I've been here for a little minute.
Whenever you realize, whenever you just kind of, it's that snapping back. Whenever you're like, oh, shoot. Like, yeah.
Like time is, life is actually happening.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, for me, it would always happen after I read a book that would kind of clear my head. So, like, Tim Grover would be like, okay, what are you focusing on? What are your priorities in life right now? And you just think about that, and then you meditate. And it's like, all right, what helps me? What do I want to be? Sometimes you don't even got to think about that. What am I doing right now? Present moment. Not 30 minutes. Not, okay, I hear the lake behind me, the birds just chirping. Okay, that feels good. The breeze. Just being in that present moment. I promise you, just focusing on that present moment, it'll help you later on down the line. I don't know how to explain it, but meditation is big.
No, it makes sense. I mean, that's a good way of explaining it. You got any books you recommend for people? Like if I were to tell you, recommend it just general, it can be, say, 3.
Recommend 3 books.
3 books. Fiction, nonfiction, whatever you want to recommend.
Obviously, I got to go with Tim Grover, Relentless. I got to go with Relentless. There's I don't know if this is a book or it's like a journal, but Walt Whitman, I think it is, or not Walt. Ralph Waldo Emerson. It's like when he goes in the woods by himself for 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Self something, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't.
Ralph Waldo.
I hate when that happens. I just like have it on the tip of my tongue.
Book. Book. Self-reliance.
Yeah. And like he talks about like it's kind of almost like meditating. He talked about like how he was just fishing and just kind of like passing by the time, thinking about, oh yeah, though I don't really need these things, like stuff like that, and just journaling it. And I would recommend that to somebody because it put me in a different perspective. Like it made me appreciate my life a little more. Although he did that for himself, like he just went in the woods, it kind of made me think like, oh yeah, nature is nice. Like why shouldn't I? So that, and then lastly probably be like a raisin in the sun. You ever heard about Lorraine? See, now names are slipping my head.
You're good. I think I've heard of the title here. That's why I have Connor in here. He'll be my producers. Connor, look that up.
Yeah, look this up.
A raisin in the sun. Lorraine Hansberry.
Yep. And it's about a family that I think they move into a nicer neighborhood, or they're like trying to move into a nicer neighborhood and they get like offered a deal or whatever.
I had to read that for class. For class last year. I know exactly what you're talking about for that.
Yeah.
It was American. No, it was theater appreciation because we had to read the book or like parts of it, and then we had to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. Another book, Huckleberry and Finn.
Okay.
I mean,
Classic.
you can't go wrong with it. Like
Mark Twain.
You judge a book by its cover, like and so
Yeah.
you kind of have to. It's like, man, I would never expect that. Like,
Yeah.
Huckleberry and Finn is a good book. Mom Mentality obviously helps you, and I got a lot of books. We could just sit here and keep going, but
You're good, man. You're good.
man,
I enjoy it. I got a good bookshelf. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, but if I really like a book, I will buy a physical copy of it and keep it. So no,
Yeah.
I get you. I'll hit you up for some recommendations sometime too.
Man, I might do the same.
I think Self-Reliance. I've heard of it. I know Ralph Waldo Emerson, but I've never actually read it. So I'll have to hop in on that.
I'm telling you, man, and not gonna lie, it's a bit boring if that makes sense. Like it's a bland book, but it's like, or journal or whatever you call it, but. At the end of it, I saw that it helped me. It kind of helped me put me in a better, cause like that it was a sign for a class at VMI, and then I actually ended up reading it and liking it. So I didn't like just not read it because it was a class assignment. I was like, oh, well, I like it. Like so. Yeah. That's what I did with my time.
Heck yeah.
So I recommend that one.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Now that I'm thinking about it.
You're going to go through. You're going to give me your top 10, aren't you?
I might. Nah, I'm done. But yeah. Reading is probably like, well, it's not the one thing I kind of go to, but I do it every morning, like devotionals and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that helps, center me. But
yeah. Does faith play a part in your life?
Yes.
Like a big part?
100%. Like I feel like I wouldn't be here without God. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, how we talked about basketball and kind of how like politics, or not politics, but who you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like you in the right place at the right time. I've always felt like I was one of those lucky kids that just got picked at the right place at the right time. Why? And I would kind of look back and be like, oh, well, a lot of kids that graduate high school that don't have an offer coming out of high school, coming from where I'm from, they stay there. And why was I the one that kind of just made it out of that? Obviously, I worked hard, but did I really deserve it over some of the other kids? And so that alone kind of just like, oh yeah, it's God. It's it's just easier to kind of see it. And there will be nights where it's like, God, man, I just don't get it. Like, is this really where I am? Like, and so, and then watching how a lot of that stuff just kind of played out in my favor, it helped me realize, like, God takes and he gives you stuff. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have what you think you should have, it's probably for a reason, And so that helped me, for real. And I think God is the biggest thing in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. There's been late nights, so like I said, my office is on that top floor, like late nights and stuff like that, I'll just be stressed out, and I'll go out. Have you ever been out on the roof up on the top up here?
No.
I'll take you up there after this.
Yeah.
Awesome, especially at night. The sun sets right behind the disc. You can sit up there, but either way, I'll go out there. It'll be a clear night, and I'll just sit out there, and I'll just start talking to God.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like, de-stress, kind of that's where I find I'm most present. I have to go outside whenever I want to ground myself and be present. No matter how cold it is, I'll throw on some. I like being in nature. I like seeing the outside, kind of like you mentioned, and it's like, it just helps ground me. Like whenever I need to just like let it out and just like ground myself, I kind of find myself doing that as well. So
that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I get that 100%, because I wouldn't say I have to be outside, but like grounding yourself, especially when you need to talk to God, or you just kind of need to, like one-on-one time. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I like the fresh air too. Mm-hmm. I think it's like I said, even if it's cold, I'm like, I'll throw on a jacket. Especially, and it tends to happen when I've been in the same spot for a long time. So it's like, if I can go outside and just kind of get away from that, it helps out quite a bit. So yeah. Anything else you want to plug? What do you want to plug, Dev?
Drink Prime.
Drink Prime?
Nah, I'm just playing. Man. Nah, that's all I got.
Get an NIL deal right there. Drink Prime. Just look at the camera.
Drink Prime.
Cool. I appreciate you hopping on here, man. And
nah, this is fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah. Catch you later, y'all.